The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
Stop doing those diet or workout fads to lose weight. Use the tried and true approach from Rock and That Ideal Life that helps you find balance while enjoying food in moderation and nourishing your body. Try the Lean 30 program at rockandthatideallife.com and let today be your last first day of your weight loss journey.
When buying or selling your home, you need to feel protected. Realtor Mike Burgoyne not only looks out for your interests, but as a St. Louis area police officer will make sure you feel safe and well-informed with every decision. Email Mike at strikewithmike.com and start the process today. That's Mike at strikewithmike.com.
Welcome to episode 16 of season 13 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We are the often imitated, never duplicated. Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he put on a dress and played a girl bunny? We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Let's Go Blues Radio. Special thanks to our sponsors, rockandthatideallife.com and Realtor Mike Burgoyne for once again proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. Also, don't forget to check out our t-shirt shop at letsgoblues.com for the best blues themed t-shirts at an unbelievably fair price. It is Thursday, January 25th, and we are streaming live right now on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Friendster, OnlyFans, whatever. To interact with the show on social media, our handle on all the socials is at LGB Radio. I'm Kurt Price. My co-host for the big show this evening were Jeff Ponder. Bill Day is on assignment. The agenda for tonight includes discussion about the Blues do add Liut, Dimitra, and Tkachuk to the Blues Hall of Fame. And the Blues close out their Western road trip with 3 straight wins. And 5 members of the 2018 World Junior Classic Team Canada are told to surrender to London police. And coincidentally, 5 professional hockey players all leave their teams for mysterious reasons. All of that and more on this episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Jeff, it's just you and I holding down the fort tonight.
It is. And you know what? I'm going to do this right now. We're going on the fly. I just decided we're going to have a giveaway tonight. Why not? Let's do it.
Yes.
We're starting a little late.
What do I win?
We're starting a little late, so let's make it up to our awesome listeners.
And it's my fault.
It is.
You were in
here
waiting, and it was my fault. Yeah.
I think I was here at 9:10, and it's like 9:45, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well,
I've literally been sitting here all day for work. I'm like, I don't want to have to sit here anymore.
Yeah, my apologies. It's just Thursdays is a kid night for me, so there's a lot going on here, and.
Well, we came up with a strategy before the show that we should have come up with a long time ago for Thursday shows.
Well, it wouldn't help tonight.
Go a little more smoothly.
You're
right. I would have been by myself.
Yeah.
But you know what? I would have had Greg Hotard join me. Hotard 12's in the chat there right now.
Or Austin, wherever the hell he is.
Yeah. Where's our producer at? That's a good point. So let's see. Let me just tweet this right now. Vamp for me a little. Kurt, tell me something. What happened this week?
Oh, what happened this week? Let's see. Well, I was supposed to play in a big pickleball tournament this coming Saturday in Springfield, Illinois. And my partner hurt his back a couple of days ago and had to go to the hospital today because of it. So he told me, he goes, hey, you better find a sub for Saturday because I cannot make it. So I was scrambling around today trying to find someone and called about 6-7 different guys, and everyone's last minute. It's hard to do. So no one could make it. So I may have to bow out of that tournament, which makes me sad that I cannot play in said tournament. It had been a 4-0 tournament, and I was looking forward to winning gold in that one. But, oh, well, next time maybe.
Oh, well, it happens.
Vamp longer, or are you good?
I'm almost there.
What are you doing?
Well, I wanted to tweet out the rules so we get people to jump in too. Although I should just make it open to these people listening right now because they're awesome and they're already here.
Sure.
But let's see. So, and you'll win a prize. Okay. So
it's on Twitter. I got to retweet this then.
I'm posting it right now on my Twitter page.
Did you tag the show?
Tag LGB Radio.
Tag me too so I can retweet it easier.
And Kurt Price. And we'll tag Bill, even though that dickhead's not here.
No, he's being the dickhead.
Facing allegations. I always want to tag Austin, but he never pops up for me. I know he's got a weird username.
Why am I not seeing the...
It's coming now.
Okay.
All right. So we got a giveaway tonight. Very simple. Anybody who, and I literally just came up with this. That's why I'm like on the fly doing this. Very excited about it, as you can tell. Comment of the show. I will announce it by, let's say, 10:30. Give me your best comment in the YouTube or the Facebook chat. And you win a prize. And let me grab this right here.
Oh
we got
boy.
a couple options.
Oh boy. It's a goodie bag.
You will get to choose between a St. Louis Blues yearbook.
Nice. That's from 2001, 2002.
1997. No, this year's yearbook, or the giveaway from Saturday.
Nice.
The Blues Hall of Fame banner that they gave. So it's got Kachuk, Mitra, and Mike Liut there. So
one of the best masks.
Yeah, and I'll show you. Let me tell you. I told you about a little work problem. For anybody watching right now live, you can see that I'm watching hockey right now. Well, when the World Juniors were going on, I had a very important work meeting, and I didn't realize you could clearly see the glare behind me on the TV that's in front of me. So I had somebody comment after, somebody very important in my company, say, "Hey, how's the game going?" And I'm like, "Oh, shit, how does he – oh." So this provides the perfect solution. Watch this.
Yeah. So he's hanging the banner up right over for those on the podcast. Yeah, that is. Boom. Yeah, you can't see it.
So I literally, like, when I'm not doing the show, I'm going to do that every day just in case.
Matt Harris in the chat says, I went ahead and set up the official LGB Radio Grinder account. Don't worry. So
we got an early front runner.
Thank you
for comment of the
Thank
show.
you, Matt. Thank you, Mr. Harris.
So wait, if it's a show Grinder account, does that mean that all three of us have to be present when we meet with the other fella?
What?
You know what?
Yeah, I know what it is,
right?
but why would we?
If it's three people on the account,
right. Oh,
that means that all three people would have to show up when they meet with the fella.
I think one person could be representative of the whole, the group. I don't use the word. Use the word whole.
Oops.
Freudian
slip. And hey, you know what? This one right here, I'm loving. Justin Scott. I still think someone needs to buy Jeff his season tickets. He's 3-0 at the Blues games this season. That is true. Yeah. They have played some good hockey when I'm in the building. Latest was this win against the Capitals, which we'll get into. But yeah, lucky me. And I'll tell you what, my first game this season was at December 16th. Hotar 12 was with me. We went and saw the Blues beat the Stars in overtime on a Parayko overtime goal. I wore my Parayko jersey for the first time in 3 years because I did not feel embarrassed about wearing it. And so he scores the game winner. They win the game. I go to another game. They win. I go the other night. He scores the game-winning goal, shorthanded. So all 3 games I've worn my Parayko jersey. So apparently that is the luck.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Sorry, I was going to wait until you finished. It was itchy trigger finger. I accidentally hit it, actually. That's truth.
No, you're good. I was pretty much done. Okay. You're good. Well, anyway, so we got a lot of hockey to talk about tonight. So again, best comment of the show by 10:30. You will win your choice of the banner or the Blues yearbook.
Nice.
And Kurt, I do have one saved for you as well.
Right on. Yeah, I thought when you held it up, I was like, "Are you giving away my banner?"
No. So what's funny is, so I'll admit I had a couple beverages Saturday night.
What?
So, yeah, me, right?
At a Blues game?
A Blues game? No,
I've seen you.
So I got
with
up
a few beverages in you at a Blues game.
Right. I was with my buddy, and we got up. The game ended. You know, we watched the 3 Stars. We go downstairs. We go to the bathroom, and as we're getting ready to leave, he's like, "Where's the bag?" Because we had a bag of his banner, my banner. They gave away some the yearbooks. They actually give those away to us because we spent a certain amount of money in the gift shop. And then he also had bought a hat in the gift shop. So he had his other hat he had brought with him. And I'm like, shit, okay, yeah, like that's worth going back and looking. Because they have it like roped off. You're not allowed to go back at a certain point. I just went under the rope.
Oh,
I go up there. There's. I know.
You went
I
under
know.
the rope.
I did. I went under the
What?
velvet rope.
Are you welcome back in Enterprise now?
Yeah, never allowed back. So I ended up going back under the rope. There's a guy like already in there cleaning the section. He just gives me this look, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I looked at him, I go, dude, I'm sorry, I forgot my bag. Like, it's under my seat. I'll just get that and go. And he goes, oh yeah, no problem. And as I'm walking back down, he comes over and he hands me 3 more banners. And he goes, you want these? I just found them. And I'm like,
Wow.
hell yeah. So I made away with 5 banners on the night.
That's okay. I wonder how many giveaways are actually left in the seats. A banner maybe is easier to leave behind. I'd imagine bobbleheads are not, but
No.
you gotta wonder. Surely there are always some giveaways left. I bet you there's even some bobbleheads. 12,000 bobbleheads given away, or what? 8,000, whatever it is. Surely one's left or 2's left.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yep. Keith Price says he is that's your brother,
It is,
Keith
it is.
Price, who I now know and is now my favorite Price. He said, except Carey Price, of course.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Your long lost Canadian cousin.
My initial Eskimo brother, initial person. Whatever that
Eskimo brother.
Because we have the same initials.
Oh, is that what Eskimo brother? I don't think that's what Eskimo brother means.
Let's make it that way.
So he says, I'm 1 for 1 versus the Rangers. So I saw Keith at that game, and it was funny because the minute I walked up, I was like, you're Kurt's brother. Like, I could tell because Gene Pool's very small in your family. And it's same as mine.
It's basically a family tree it doesn't fork. So
yeah, that's the same as mine. My brother looks just like me too. He says all the time. Like, he said, literally had one guy come up to him at his job, didn't even know who he was, didn't know his last name, and was like, are you related to Jeff Ponder? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I play hockey against that guy. And it's like, I didn't even tell him my name. And I'm like, dude, look at us. Come on. But anyway, it was funny because I was with my nephew, and my nephew, he knows I do the podcast, but he doesn't know how big we are, or how small we are.
We're huge. We're huge.
Yeah. And so your brother comes up and stops me and talks to me for a little bit. And I introduce him to Aiden, my nephew Aiden. And then we start to walk away, and he gives me this look, and I'm like, what? And he's like, someone recognized you at the Blues game? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm like, I used to be media, and I run the Blues podcast that, has been around forever. I'm like, yeah, every now and then when I get recognized. And he's like, I didn't know you were so famous. And I'm like, well, thanks for the confidence boost, but I'm really not.
Yeah, it's isn't it weird when that happens? It makes you feel so weird. Like, I was at Sunrise Brewery that one time, and I'm sitting at the bar, and Amy's to my left, and the guy sitting to Amy's left whispers to Amy. He goes, "Is that Kurt Price from Let's Go Blues Radio?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, I thought that was him."
Yep. And so no, I'm with you. There was one time I was just at Sam's getting gas. And I saw a guy, I think originally he saw my Let's Go Blues Radio bumper sticker. And I saw him kind of looking at that. And then he looks over at me. He just goes, Ponder. I look over and, obviously I play a lot of hockey in the area. I've worked in a lot of places. So I was like, oh, hey, man, how you doing? Because I don't know this guy, but clearly he knows me. And he's just like, love the show. And I'm like, oh, you're a listener. And he's like, yeah, show's great. You guys are awesome. And I'm like, thank you. And I luckily had some stickers in my car, gave them to him, and very nice man. But yeah, it was very weird to just be like, because it was 10 a.m. I'm standing and it's cold. I got this big coat on. I'm just, I just need to get back in my car. And I got this guy talking to me about my fucking podcast that I do for fun, basically.
Yeah. It's a weird, it's so strange.
Yep.
All right. So official beers of episode number 447. Seven. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is cprice12. Jeff's is jponder 94. Bill's is Billy Blue Note 33. I will go first since that's the way we're doing it. And I think it'd be hard pressed to have a lower ABV than this one tonight. 4.2. That's not crazy low, but it's low.
Okay.
That's a simple Mick Ultra. I'm not going fancy tonight. Just going simple.
Not bad.
You know what? I mean, there are few beers that are better than the Mick Ultra after a round of golf, after a hockey game.
Just gonna say that is my golf beer.
After a marathon, a 5K, whatever. I mean, it's a tasty beer for those moments, especially.
I don't remember what course it was. It was a while ago, but I remember being at a course and they had like a bunch of Schlafly products, which clearly I love. They had stuff from like Boulevard. They had a huge beer selection, and I still ordered like 6 Mick Ultras for our cart. And my buddy was like, "Aren't you a beer snob?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but we're on the golf course. Like, there's nothing better than a Mick Ultra."
Yeah, I can't think of anything worse than like a big heavy stout on the golf course.
Oh, no, absolutely
no. There are situational pairings for beers. Absolutely.
Yeah. So mine, I believe, is one that I've not ever had on the show. I don't know if you've had it, but it's phenomenal.
I have not. I saw your picture earlier. I have not seen it. I've not had it.
It's Bluewood Brewing, and I don't know. Is this a local brewery? It says Benton Park.
Benton.
So
there's more than one Benton Park, though.
Right. So I don't know if it's here or somewhere else, but it's called, which I love this name, Bananas and Blow, Bavarian style wheat ale. And it literally, as I said on Twitter,
yes, it is. It's on Cherokee Street.
It's here?
Yeah, Cherokee Street.
All right, Bluewood Brewing.
I knew that. I knew that. I see the logo. I'm like, yes, I knew they were there. I just didn't. It didn't click in my head at the time. Yeah, Bluewood.
I've never heard of them, and I've had this beer a couple times, but it wasn't until this time I noticed. Oh, Benton Park.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to go check you out, Bluewood Brewing. Keith Price, like milk on a hot day, bad choice. Talking about the bad beer. Yeah.
And then more that girl, Amy, says, yes, Bluewood is local.
And Kurt has been there.
Kurt has been. I have been there. Well, you know what? Yep. I've been to a lot of beeries, right? And you can't. Bluewood. Okay. I have no excuses. Bluewood. I have been there.
We've all been there, Kurt.
I
don't even know what that means.
I'm looking at the pictures now. I'm like, have I? Well, I'm looking at the pictures. That's nice. Holy crap! It's like a smoker's lounge.
Good night
it
out.
Looks nice. I've been here. I'm looking. I see. I don't recall being here.
The Baked Beaver, friend of the show, says that's a Ween song. I did not know that. That band. Have you ever actually sat and listened to Ween, Kurt?
No, I don't think so.
They are something. That's
a detailed analysis.
I will just say I'm not a fan, but they put out stuff that is so fucking weird that I'm just like, I guess this is in someone's music taste. Like some of the songs are like comical, but I don't know if they're like meant to be comical.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bluewood Brewing and these pictures online, and this is a really nice, cool looking brewery.
You've been there, apparently.
I don't
allegedly.
It's a brewery. A lot happens in a brewery. You drink in a brewery. I may not have remembered this brewery.
That's true. That's a good point. I forgot to remember.
It could have been I don't know. I could have been with a group of people, and it could have been late. I could have been like just riding along with some people and said, let's go to Bluewood. Okay, where are we going? I don't know. Walk in. I'm sure.
That's how I am when I'm out of town. Usually in St. Louis, I have destinations in mind.
Well,
but whatever.
I recommend it based on the pictures alone.
Well, I'll tell you, I think this is the only beer I've ever had from them, and I love it. This is, I think, my third time getting it.
Does it taste like? Does it have bananas? The flavor?
Oh okay. Yeah. It's a strong banana flavor, and it's like that heavy kind of lagerish Bavarian style, and so it's just it's very good. It's very refreshing.
Every single banana beer I've had, I've loved. Every single one.
Yeah, me too. And you know what's funny is I love bananas, but there's a ton of like banana flavored stuff that I hate.
Well,
it just doesn't taste
right. Like banana candy.
The beer is good.
Banana candy, I don't like. They all taste the same.
Yeah, the Laffy Taffy.
It's got a very familiar taste, but it doesn't necessarily taste like bananas. It's like off.
Yeah,
It's like
agreed.
watermelon candy. It's like, yeah, a little bit, but it's like off.
Yep.
Okay. That was a nice tangent. Bluewood Brewing. If you'd like to sponsor Let's Go Blues Radio, contact us at
blueshockeypodcast@gmail.com.
Or radio at
Wait, that's not
radio
it.
at letsgoblues.com. Or info at Let's Go Blues. It's radio. It's radio.
It's radio.
Yeah.
It's radio at letsgoblues.com. Or Kurt at letsgoblues.com.
Or J Ponder. Yeah, or give us your Gmail address.
It's Jeff at
Jeff
I
at
believe
Let's Go
it's
Blues.
just Jeff at letsgoblues.com.
Yeah. Not Let's Go Blues Radio.com. Let's Go Blues.com.
Right.
So the St. Louis Blues have added Mike Liut, Pavel Demitra, and Keith Tkachuk to the St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame officially. Liut, Tkachuk, and Demitra's families all dropped the initial puck for the home game against the Capitals, in which Jeff was in attendance.
As was Bill.
Demitra's wife was very appreciative of the Blues and the city of St. Louis. She was interviewed by like everyone.
Yeah.
After that happened.
Yeah, I think so. So having been in the media, which I know I never talk about, I will tell you that typically what they do is like they'll have like they'll have her do the stuff before the game, and then like halfway through the intermission they'll make a announcement that such and so who just dropped the puck before the game will be available for interview at the first intermission or whatever. And so then that's when like you get the huge group of people, that kind of go up and just talk. I remember we did it with a friend of the show, Jinsey Dunn, when she had scored the big goal in the under 18s. I remember her just like, you could tell how overwhelmed she was, just have like this swarm of reporters. And so that's, I think that's what happened. And I think she stuck around for like a day or two after and did a bunch more like special interviews. It was just the belle of the ball, basically, which she should be. She watching the video of her with when Keith Tkachuk called her and told her about it. And then, all the stuff I've seen since, her dropping the puck and her kids with her, they seem like such humble and amazing people and just so blown away by the way they were treated by the city of St. Louis. And I think it just was kind of a nice reminder. I don't know how often she's come back to St. Louis, her and Pavel, before he passed. But I think it was just kind of a nice reminder for her, like, oh, yeah, Pavel is fucking loved here.
Yeah, well, and she said that
it was great.
Yeah, she said his favorite years playing in the NHL were here. I don't know if that was lip service for the local fans watching the broadcast, but
you think about the rest of his career.
Oh, his best years were
Ottawa.
Here. His best years were here.
Ottawa was nothing. He was never given a chance
LA.
there. And then L.A., Minnesota, Vancouver, like LA and Vancouver. You don't get to use those two back to back very often. But yeah, I mean, he was still good in those games or in those places. But yeah, I mean, in St. Louis, not only was he at the top of his career, the Blues were a damn good hockey team.
Mm-hmm. We are going to discuss the Blues' recent games on this West Coast trip, where they finished strong. After this commercial break, you're listening to Kurt and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio.
We'll return after these messages.
We've all tried a diet or workout fad at one time or another, but it always ends the same, right? We either lose the weight and then get back to our routine, but then put the weight right back on, or it just simply never takes hold. It's time to move into a habit-based program that focuses on organization and simplicity. Rock and That Idea Life's Lean 30 lays it all out for you with the correct food to eat, how to meal prep, and even sprinkles in plenty of healthy recipes. With Lean 30, you'll get the full ID Life arsenal, including energy for that needed kick, a tasty Nourish shake for your needed fiber intake, Slim Plus to help control your cravings and provide a metabolic boost, Lean capsules help bust those sugar cravings, and IED Nutrition gives you the added punch you need that takes the guesswork out of what supplements to take. Join the many who are seeing success and make this your last first day on a new program. Visit rockandthatidealife.com to get started, and remember to email Dustin at rockandthatidealife@gmail.com for an extra 10% off exclusively for Let's Go Blues radio listeners. Start your transformation to the confident, vibrant person you've always wanted to be with rockandthatidealife.com.
St. Louis hockey fans know how it takes a reliable captain and a team of hard workers to achieve major goals. As a police officer and a hockey player, Realtor Mike Burgoyne would wear the C in any situation. As a leader in the home buying or selling process, Mike has surrounded himself with a team of trustworthy inspectors, lenders, and escrow officers that work together more cohesively than Hall & Oates. And as a member of many teams in his life, Mike knows the service our first responders, veterans, nurses, teachers, and yes, even you Let's Go Blues Radio listeners provide the community, so he offers special rates to those individuals. Find the value in Mike's leadership and teamwork today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or calling 314-753-4060. He'll work closely with you and only show you the homes that match your goals. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com or call him at 314-753-4060 and succeed with your new teammate today.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
Hey, back from break. I just wanted to mention the Baked Beavers comment here, something we should have mentioned. I don't know if you saw this, Kurt. He says it was neat to see the couple in Lake of the Ozarks, give Mr. Mitra the 2002 All-Star jersey back to her. So it was actually the jersey he wore in the 2002 All-Star game. That was really cool, and I was happy to see that. I'm sure that was a very sentimental moment for her and her kids.
Yeah, I think that was shared on social media. As well. So, and
yeah, I think that was one of those things that happened after the fact. I think it happened on Sunday or maybe after the game on Saturday. I'm not sure, but very cool to see.
12 minutes remaining in the contest for comment of the show. 11 minutes.
True.
11 minutes.
Remember, just give us comment of the show and you win. That's all you got to do. Just be clever or funny or insightful or make fun of Bill Day.
Vulgar.
Like, whatever you want to do.
Vulgar
always works.
Yeah, whatever. Not racist.
I do have a front runner right now. I'm not going to say what, but right now we do already have a front runner.
All right. Are any people not eligible in this?
You
and I.
And me.
Okay. Yeah, you're picking the winner, correct? Your giveaway.
I mean,
yeah.
I will gladly take any insight you have.
You know what? You can feel free to share who you think the winner should be when the winner is announced, if you'd like to. And if you want me to sign off on it, I'll be like, yay or nay, but it doesn't matter.
Your brother knows his way into my heart. Norm Macdonald reference here. Or so the Germans would have us believe. God, that is it. We'll get back to the show. A quick tangent. That is something I've been doing the last, probably 6 months, randomly going on YouTube, just typing in Norm Macdonald and watching either from his show, from SNL, from his stand-up, from an interview, just watching him do something ridiculous. It'd be my favorite, I think, is when he was on The View and he was apologizing for something he said. He was so inconsiderate and such a dick, but he did it in a way that the View hosts actually believed him. But anyone who watches Norm Macdonald's like, he's not being sincere.
You heard why he was fired from SNL, right? Because he went.
He made fun of O.J. Simpson,
like a lot.
Yeah.
Like he would nonstop.
Yeah, and he was good friends with Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Lorne Michaels was friends with O.J. Simpson, and I assume still is. I don't know, but yeah, and it was funny because the Saturday Night Live episode after O.J. was found not guilty. Norm Macdonald said on the news there on SNL, he goes, this just in, murder now legal in California.
Yes, that's a great one. So good.
The Baked Beaver says the All-Star jerseys are a joke, right? You know what?
Oh yeah, we don't have that in our
No, we
notes.
don't. We
Let's
should.
discuss that very quickly.
Yeah.
I am not a fan.
I'll tell you what. I kind of like them a little bit, but I really want to see them on the ice because for me, most of the time, if I just see a jersey by itself, I'm like, I hate that. But if I see it on the ice, I'm like, oh, it works when it's on the ice, full gear. It looks different. So we'll see. But I think I probably like them. If you say you don't like them, I probably like them a little more than you do.
I will say you're right on that. The biggest one for me that I always go back to is the Winnipeg Jets baby blue with the Jets just written in cursive.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it on the ice, I'm like, holy shit, that looks incredible.
Yeah.
So
you know what these look?
you're right.
When AJ from Tealtown, USA, right? He first time I saw this, he shared them right away before I had seen them yet, and I saw them on social media, and I said they look like hot dog condiments. Something you put the jerseys look like something you put on a hot dog. They just like the bright red, bright yellow, bright white. It's like onions, mustard, ketchup.
Yep. Beaver here. There was a couple memes going around, like Doritos bags or Rockstar energy drinks. Yeah, it was. I saw the meme going around that was like, "Friend, you can copy my homework, but make it look a little different." And it was like it matched up perfectly with Doritos bags and Rockstar energy drinks.
Have they shown the pictures of the backs of the jerseys?
I haven't seen them
because I've just seen. Oh wait, no, I do see. I see the. The names under the numbers. What?
Oh God!
What?
Why never change that? I'm sorry.
Oh,
that's just like when they try to put numbers in the front. Stop. Just don't change that aspect of it. It never looks good. Terrible.
And it's like got a black oval around it, almost like it's like a social media name, almost like our names under the boxes here, but it's like if you make them round, it's weird. I hate that aspect. The name under the number. That's insanely stupid. I don't care if you're trying to do something different, something cool. No, there's a reason why things work and some things don't. The back is terrible. Okay. So you don't like them, front or back. I'm okay with the front.
You're probably right. I need to see him on the ice.
Yeah,
because it's not like an atrocity like the terrible Flames not understanding how stripes work and like the Red Wings just making the same fucking jersey over and over and over.
They don't want to
like that. I don't need to see that shit on the ice to know I hate it. These I might need to see. So let's circle back on that, as they say in the business world. We will talk about it after the All-Star game.
Okay. Let me put it up on screen here real quick. NHL All-Star jersey. Let's see. Oh no, it's Men's Fanatics. There we go. Let's share that and put that up for the viewers. Yeah. So there's what I mean by the name under the numbers.
Yeah. Oh, terrible. I do hate that. That no matter what, I will hate that. But the fronts, I don't like. They look like practice jerseys to me.
They look like kids jerseys, like something like for a grade school team or something. Yeah. It's I don't know. I mean, it might work. I mean, it really depends on the pants and the helmets and the gloves and everything. But we'll see. I mean, I've seen worse jerseys, much worse.
I've had better.
Just about.
I've had
90% of. I've had better. Just about 98% of roller hockey jerseys you see today are worse than this. So,
well, and I from what I heard, like as Keith Price mentions, the jerseys were designed in collaboration with Drew House, the fashion brand co-founded by global superstar Justin Bieber. And he's got quite the hockey tie-in, obviously. He did a Maple Leafs jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really care for that either.
No, I didn't either. But so I get trying to do the tie-in with Bieber, same thing with the NFL, trying to bank off Taylor Swift, so I totally get it. But, and from what I heard from, I don't know if it was him or his agency or whatever, I did hear somewhere that he tried to basically make the old conference jerseys from the early 90s, but make them look like modern jerseys. That's kind of the idea he went. And I'm like, I don't see that. Like, I guess I kind of get it with the stars around the sleeves and stuff, but I just, it went a whole different direction.
I mean, I don't know. I don't get me wrong. I would love a throwback to those jerseys from the 80s, like when the game was here in St. Louis. Those are great jerseys. But this ain't it. You can get a whole hell of a lot closer to those jerseys without being those jerseys than this stuff.
Why not just remake those jerseys?
Yeah, or with
I love
you
that.
could remake those jerseys with a modern look and have it look almost exactly the same, but you can tell it's modernized on a for the jersey. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yep.
The Blues bounced back against the Capitals. Well, the Blues lost to the Capitals 5-2 for the third straight game under Bannister. The Blues have lost for the first time. So if that makes sense, I kind of read that sentence backwards.
They lost. The Blues lost their third straight for the first time under Bannister.
Oshie had a hat trick in this game after not netting a whole lot of goals against the Blues in previous games. Walker scored 2 for St.
He was on it this game.
And vintage Oshie, that first one, right? He steals the puck, kind of dangles, and then shoots from his knees, basically, top corner. It's like, man, just vintage Oshie. Walker scores 2 for St. Louis. Blues just didn't have it. 20 shots on net, sloppy D. PK essentially gives up 3 goals in this game. Lindgren, very good in this game, I thought.
Oh, unbelievable in this game. He's having a great season. I was on the Puck podcast last week, and I mentioned we did like first half award winners. I didn't give him the Vezina, but I feel like he at least deserved consideration because his numbers are insane, and good for him for coming into Washington and basically stealing that job from Darcy Kemper. I know Bill kind of hates seeing that because I know he wanted to hold on to him, but I think the Blues are doing pretty well for themselves in net right now without him.
I agree. I mean, I like what we have now. I would not want Lindgren as opposed to either of what we have right now. 1 minute remaining in the comment of the show.
Well, we'll say after this game.
After this
we'll
segment?
talk about this game, and then we will. Then we'll announce on a winner. So we'll give you maybe another couple minutes here.
Shots in this game. Okay, so you want to talk about Justin Falk? You were not a fan of his in this game.
Just a little stuff. Justin Falk, I think, since coming back from injury, and we'll talk later. He is back out, at least for a game. He has looked awful since coming back from injury. I said that on Twitter. Somebody else responded and said he's looked bad all season. Not going to argue that. I don't think he's been bad. I don't think he's looked like Justin Falk all season. No, he has been bad since coming back from injury.
Yes, correct. He's been worse lately.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I do not like him with Krug. I think those two early in the season, they were okay, but I feel like they just are not playing well off each other. When Falk was out and they put Kessel with Krug and they've put them back together now, that looks like an awesome pairing. I know Krug's had his issues this week, but I have loved that pairing together. I think keep Falk and him apart. I thought in this game, Nick Leddy looked really bad. There was constant times where he was just in no man's land and he just wasn't blocking passing lanes. I hate Nick Leddy on the penalty kill, personally. I think he's a good his best game is transition. You're not transitioning much when you're shorthanded, even though the Blues have scored a lot of goals shorthanded. I just don't like him on the PK. He's not a passing lane guy. He's not a body up guy. That's the kind of guys. That's why Robert Bortuzzo was so valuable on the PK, because he was a guy, big body, could block the passing lanes, could block shots. I just don't see that with Nick Leddy. And again, in this game, we'll talk later. They did improve over the week. Special teams, I thought, was rough for the Blues in this game. I think if they score 1 on 1 of their 5 power plays, this is a much different game. And at this point, the power play continued, even though they've had a couple games they scored 2 goals. At this point, it was still glaring how bad the Blues special teams have been, not just power plays, but The PKs have not looked good. Ovechkin had multiple chances in this game on the power play, and I know he is a world-class goal scorer, and if not the one of the best goal scorers of all time.
Who's that?
And this guy named Ovechkin.
I have heard of him.
Yeah. And I know that everyone says, like, how does he keep scoring from the same exact fucking spot all the time? But it is annoying when you see him just left wide open, and it's at least get a guy in the lane to where it's at least hard to get him the puck. And I thought Bennington played this game very well for the most part. And just, again, the special teams really let him down.
Shots in this game were 26-20 for Washington, only 20 shots on goal for the Blues. Bennington stopped 21-25. You mentioned the Blues being 0 for 5 on the power play. Washington was 2 for 4. So when your special teams aren't getting it done, and the other teams or your power play is not getting it done, and the other team is converting on half their chances, you're probably going to lose this game.
I mean, you just a 1-goal swing. If you go 1 for 5 and Washington goes 1 for 4, completely different ball game here. So again, like, you look at the special teams, and I think in this game specifically, you can say special teams let them down in this game.
The Blues have moved up a little bit in the standings as far as power play percentage goes recently.
They've had some good games recently.
The last about their last 20 power plays, they're about 30%. So and they're up to 14.2% now, which is good for 27th out of the 32 teams. So yeah, it was better than what was it, like 6 or 7% for a while, a good chunk into the season.
Yeah.
So it's the last 20 power plays, that's significant. So we'll see if that trend can continue, and it does improve as we talk about the other games here. Did you want to announce a giveaway of the comment?
Yeah, I'm reviewing a few right now that I've not officially read. So
okay.
Let me do that a little bit. I don't know if you have some that you want to at least mention as honorable mentions. You can go ahead and do that.
I think they're all terrible, but let me see.
They are. They're all horrible.
There was one that I liked. It was early on. What was that? Let's see.
I do like winning unlimited here. I'd play better hockey if I had a shiny chrome helmet.
Here's one that says Kurt is right. That's got to be common on the show. Matt Harris.
That's your winner right there, right? We've got Maria Adams, which that might be a new listener. Maria says, my husband has gotten very sick of me lately, celebrating and saying Shen's goals are Shen-sational. So naturally, I've said it even more. I love that comment because I do the exact same thing to my wife all the time.
That's the sign of a good marriage right there.
Okay.
Find out what annoys your spouse and just prod that, right?
Thanksgiving night. It's a tradition now. Thanksgiving night. We go see her parents during the day, and then my mom at night, and then we come home, and minute we walk in the door, I start with, so you want to put the tree up or and I will do that until the tree is up. Like, I will do it every 10 minutes. And she'll be like, no, I'm tired. We're not doing it tonight. And I'm like, okay. 10 minutes later, so you want to put the tree up? And
no, I'm tired. We're not doing it tonight. How often you hear that?
I hear that a lot too. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. I like this one from the Baked Beaver. I don't know what the context was, but it's perfect. Kurt, there was contact. Challenge the play.
Doesn't it go back to that argument we had about goalie interference?
Yeah. That's a callback. That's what we call in the business a callback.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Good stuff. And that's what I appreciate about our regular listeners is that they will call back things from previous shows.
That's what I
appreciate about them. Yes.
Okay. We got a good, insightful comment here from Justin Scott. Sods, Shen, and Neighbors have been very fun to watch. My buddy always says we have no depth, but I think guys like Sod and Neighbors have done their best. I agree with that.
Neighbors has been so
unbelievable.
Just great.
Keith Price, I'll allow you in the running if you promise not to give anything to your brother. Of course, or so the Germans would have us believe. That, of course, is one of my favorites. But I don't know. I'm still looking. Any more from you, Kurt, that you saw?
Let's see. There's some recent ones here. Let's see. You know what? Again, I think they're all pretty bad, but I don't know what this is in context to, but I like it out of context. Along with Will Arnett and Michael Bublé.
Talk about the captains. They're having celebrity captains for the
Okay.
All-Star game. Yeah. All right. There is one that I saw, and I know this person is going to be very excited.
Is this it?
Trying to find
Is this
it.
the winner?
Yeah, I've got the winner.
All right.
It was one of my front runners early, and I'm going to go with it, but I'm having trouble finding it right now.
Do I need to vamp again?
Give me a minute.
Should I throw up a weird comment?
Here it is. Got it. Congratulations to my friend Hotard12. He says running the show tonight is Elton John and Adam Rippon.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice.
I mean, Adam is he's very clean shaven, but I think he's going with the fact that I'm still wearing my work clothes and my hair looks nice. So yes, Hotard12, you are the proud winner. I usually would say at this point, contact us on social media. You have my number. Tell me what you want. Do you want the banner or do you want the yearbook?
See, I think
Congratulations. And thank you to everyone for
Yes.
participating. These kind of things are always fun. I think we should try to do these kind of things more often.
Yeah, just give away more of your stuff.
Yeah, right. Who wants this $300 frame of the Blues winning the Stanley Cup newspaper? You know,
Our
just give that away. Why not?
Isn't the framing cost just obscene? Oh my god!
So
it's
I think
bad.
I've told this on the
So
show.
awful.
We bought this house. I mean, we found out we were getting it when the Blues were playing Game 1 of the Western Final. We moved in. I think it was a week after the Blues won, and the Cup. And I told my wife, I'm like, just so you know, because we got some money back at closing. I was like, just so you know, that's all going into Blues memorabilia. And she laughed, and I'm like, you should stop laughing because it's true. So I got this one framed over here. I got another one over here. The Bozak, what a trip. Bought a bunch, my Stanley Cup here. Like, I really did blow a bunch of money on memorabilia. But I told her, I'm like, first cup, I have to do it.
Sure. I spent a lot of money on stuff too. And I'm like, why not? I mean,
yeah,
I'll eat later.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what I said. I was like, you and Shay can eat later.
This is funny. It's true. It's spot on. That Keith Price line feels like it's from a deleted scene in Clue.
Yes,
as the Germans would have you believe.
My favorite line in cinema is in that movie. Don't you know this is a free country? I didn't know it was that free.
Flames
everywhere.
That was a great movie.
Get on with it.
Okay.
The line from a movie,
yes,
but sure,
right.
get on with the show too.
So the Blues did have the second of the back-to-back against Washington. They did bounce back against the Capitals, winning 3-0, powered by a Jordan Binnington shutout. Coming into this game, you can't lose back-to-back games to Washington. I mean, not that they were, at the time they were ahead of us in the standings. They might still be, I don't know. But losing back-to-back when you need points against a team that with a good game you could have beat the first time, and with a good game they did beat this time. So shutout by Binnington. Didn't have to do much in this game. Power play goal in this game for the Blues, which was nice to see. Beautiful redirection off the point of a point shot by Thomas. That was a goal by Neighbors.
Neighbors, beautiful
Thomas shot,
and great read from Thomas, knowing to just put that through traffic and it would find.
Because Thomas doesn't shoot on net to score from the point.
No,
that's not. He never does that.
No,
that was for a deflection.
Yeah, and in this game too, not a lot of shots. Like you said, 29-18 for St. Louis. Binnington did not have to be great, but he did make some really great saves. He had one There was a backdoor chance, I believe it was end of the second period on the power play on Ovechkin, that he made just a fucking monster save on it. At that point, I'll admit, I looked at my buddy as we were at the game together, and I looked at him and I said, you know what I'm thinking. I'm not going to say it, but that's a save right there that usually leads to what we don't want to say. And he just nodded and he goes, say no more. Let's not even talk about it again. And I'm like, yep. And for those who don't know, that means you don't talk about a shutout before it happens. So, yeah. It was funny because I did hear the word like behind my left shoulder at one point. I heard somebody say
does
it.
that?
And it was one of those, like, somebody said, like, the C word or something. And you're like, huh? I looked back and I was like, who the fuck said that?
Do you think fans in general, do you think that stems from like the people who know that superstition? Do you think that stems from people who played, or do you think everyone knows that superstition?
I think it stems from people who play.
I think so too.
I think it's from people who know goalies,
Right.
Like goalie, it stemmed from goalies saying, like, don't put that idea in my head. And so the players started saying, okay, we won't say it. Players are obviously fans as well. So then the fans started picking up on it. Now it's global.
Well, and
that's my thought.
Yeah, and former players become fans. Former players at all levels. All the way down to rec and men's leagues. And then you become, and then you're fans too. So you carry that superstition from when you're a player over to being a fan. You don't say the word shutout when one's going on. Although if the other goalie has a shutout going on, you're more than happy to say it, right?
Oh, that's my favorite thing to do. Like, I even have a buddy.
Nice shutout you got going there.
Yeah, I'll say I have a lot of friends, that play goal, and every now and then I'll have to face off against them. And every time even like early in the game, it'll be like first period, and it's only 10 minutes into the game, I'll skate by the net and I'll just go, shut out. Shut up, Ponder.
Nice shutout you got there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. And the shorthanded goal by Parayko on a 2-on-1 wrist shot, beats him glove side off the post. It was a nice shot, but this is a shot he should have.
The beauty of that goal, though, I love that goal, not because of the shot, because of the breakup on the play. There was a scramble in the far boards from the telecast. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody in the Capitals tried to feed it back over, I believe it was to Ovechkin, who was, if not for Parayko, wide open on the far boards, on the near boards. And they threw it in the air. Perfect play to not get it picked off. And Parayko right there, stick up, caught it right in motion as it was probably 2 feet off the ice. And then clear lane to the net with one other guy. I remember who the guy was on his left, but he had another player with him, 2-on-1, perfectly executed. Again, I agree that's a shot the goalie should have, but still to be able to pick that pass off, lead the rush, just know to go, just go north, just move. And that's what he did. Put it on net. Beautiful goal. And again, ends up being the game winner.
Another shorthanded goal for the Blues.
Yep.
These shorthanded goals this season have been bonkers.
We will talk more about shorthanded goals as the night continues. But yeah, I mean, and again, I thought Lindgren played except for that goal, I thought he played very well. And the Blues really had to work for their goals. And it was nice to see. And I think that was something I kind of mentioned a couple weeks ago when we were talking about, is this team starting to form an identity? Hard-working team that is going to make any team in the league piss their pants because they're relentless. And I hate to use that word because that, clearly is a Berube word, but still, just a team that will work hard and not let you get easy victories on them, even though we've seen some this year. For the most part, they don't go away and they keep fighting.
St. Louis was 1 for 2 on the power play. Washington was 0 for 3. So special teams playing a role. And so the Blues then played where are we at here? I lost my spot. Calgary. Incredible 4-3 comeback win with a late goal against Calgary from Brandon Saad. So they were down 3-1 over halfway through this game, and it's been fun to watch the Blues come back in some of these games this season. They've had a number of multi-goal comebacks. They came back in this game with a goals from Shen late in the second. And then Kyrou got his 13th almost 7 minutes into the third to tie the game. And then Saad scores the goal that had no business going in. I still don't know how this goal went in. Was it like there was a stick check on the shot. Might have like changed direction a little bit right when he shot it off the post and in.
Markstrom had a great game.
He did.
And I was like, that one went in. That was the one.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And some goalies will even tell you, and I think Bill's one of them, that shot's out from far and far. It's out far enough to where even if it is deflected off a defenseman, because the defenseman was high.
It was a wrist shot too.
He was right on him.
A wrist shot.
So even if it's deflected out that far, usually a goalie can pick it up in time, and it's not an issue.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for some reason it just went in.
He shot it from.
Wasn't expecting a shot.
It was just inside the blue line. It was a wrist shot, and the defenseman was there, and he kind of stick checked Saad as he shot it. So maybe it came off his stick funny, and he didn't pick it up. Obviously, didn't pick it up. But that and off the post and in, unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I saw it go in. I mean that was.
Oh, that was.
He was just about where Yzerman was when he scored on John Casey. He was about 3 or 4 feet closer to the net. That's it.
You think my wife would know late in a game, tied especially, to not rest her head on my lap while the Blues are playing. And she had her head, she was kind of starting to fall asleep, even though, she kind of gets used to the, like, come on, the loud, obnoxious things I'll kind of blurt. But yeah, when that goal happened, she was probably minutes from falling asleep. And that goal goes in, and I jump up. Oh my God. Like I lost my shit. And I felt her whole body just jolt the minute I stood up. And I was like, ooh, sorry, honey, but come on. You know the rules.
It's a goal you didn't expect. A lot of times when a team scores, you see the shot coming, you hope it goes in, there's a scoring chance, or it's close to the net, it's gonna be close. No, you're not expecting a goal here at all. So that was that's good stuff.
Yeah, and I'll say, so, obviously leading up to that goal, the story of the game that, that's just kind of following the journey of the game. Like I so many times said, and I think I even posted it on Twitter at one point, this is going to be a game. This game has all the makings of an ass kicking, because I thought the Blues came out, played really well. Markstrom made some ridiculous saves. One of them early on a power play, Kevin Hayes got the puck. I think if I don't know if you remember the play, but it comes across, he's on the right, he's left-handed shot. He cradled, kind of like a Tarasenko, cradles, then shoots. And it was a good shot, but Markstrom got across, gloved it, beautiful save. If he one-times it, that's probably a goal. But unfortunately, sometimes you just can't one-time every shot. So a couple big saves. That was probably his biggest early on. Then I thought, the Blues tank just looked empty. They had like 3 really good chances that Markstrom stopped. And keep in mind, too, Markstrom was coming back from an injury. He had missed 3 games. And before that, he was lights out all of January. So when I heard he was coming back for this game, I'm like, of fucking course he's coming back for this game. Like, Blues is luck right here, right? And so then he plays that well early on. And then the Blues, I felt, just dipped. The offense was gone. All of a sudden, the pressure's all Calgary. Mackenzie Weegar scores that goal in the first period. Once they got into the zone, Calgary, their east-west passing was so dynamic. It looked so good. Best that I've seen from them all season. And I thought, God damn it, they are just picking the Blues apart. And then Weegar scores that goal. Well, then the rest of the period, Calgary keeps coming. Bennington's playing well. That's when I kind of said, this game's over. It may be 1-0. It might as well be 6-0, because there's just no way. I just don't. It had the feels of that first Vancouver game. They lost 5. Was it 5-0, 5-1?
Well, Calgary has 30 shots through 2 periods too. I mean, they're peppering.
Yeah, and luckily, Saad had a might have been his best game as a Blue. He had a breakaway chance. He hits the crossbar, and then comes right in and scores again right after he hits the crossbar. So, he comes in, scores, makes it 1-1, but then 3 minutes later, Hanifin scores, then Sharon Govich scores a minute after that. And I just thought, again, 3-1, this game's over. There's no way. Nice effort, kind of, Blues, but it's just too little, too much, too little, too late. And then the third period happens. And what a fucking third period. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, didn't have a ton of shots, the Blues. They had 7 to Calgary's 5 in the third period. But
good defensive, honestly, from both teams.
Sure.
Good defensive play.
Sure. And
Parayko, just a fucking beast.
I mean, you can't say enough about his play this season.
No.
It's just, I mean, it's not like he's had a nice stretch and he's settled back into, he's been great the whole season.
He just looks confident. That was something I felt like, for the last 2-3 years. I'm like, he doesn't have any confidence. He gets the puck, and I feel like he's just looking down at the puck, and he's just like, all right, up the boards and out, he gets the puck, and we're seeing what we saw in the Cup year and the years before. I'm going to take this and, kind of the goal against Washington. I'm going to pick this pass off, and then I'm going to fucking skate it up, and I'm going to score a goddamn goal. I've never felt that way about, not never. The last couple of years, I have not felt that way about Parayko. I feel like he gets the puck, and it's just, how do I get this out of the zone? Now it's, how do I turn this into offense? And it's unbelievable, the turnaround we've seen this year.
You want to know who Money Puck had for this game?
I'm going to guess.
Deserved to win.
Deserved to win, I'm going to guess, what is it, a percentage, right, of 1,000? Yep. I'll say 65% Calgary.
Very close. 1,000 simulations, 62.6% Calgary.
I think that counts as me getting it right. That's pretty damn close.
I say the give or take is 2.5%. So I think we'll make it 2.5 from now on.
Okay.
So you got a 5% margin to get it in.
All right. I'll take it.
I should go back and see what Money Puck had for the previous game against Washington.
I bet they had the Blues winning. I'm going to say 71% of the time.
Let's take a look. I bet I have. Okay, well, we'll look. You said 71. Okay, it's at 500 simulations. It's at 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Blues 65%. What'd you say? 70?
Oh, that's still pretty good.
Yep.
I didn't win, but
very close. And Money Puck actually got one right. This is one of the few that Money Puck has gotten correct. Yep. They're typically wrong with this stuff.
Yep, they are. But no, in this game, man, I thought, who was it? Somebody here said, where is it? There was a Kairu comment I wanted to pull up. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is. From the Baked Beaver, he says, I have to mention I talked so much shit on Kairu, but he has turned things around quite a bit. I'll add that I would love to see him be a little better with puck handling and receiving passes, but him carrying the puck into the slot and shooting, yes, and that's exactly what he did on his goal. I thought that was his biggest goal of the year, personally. 6 into the third, just literally wrapping the puck around the left face-off dot and then just firing the puck. And it's like, do that all the time, and you will be a 50-goal scorer.
When he scored that goal, I was like, see, that's what you get when you shoot from when you should be shooting. You know, I mean, he still frustrates me quite a bit in the offensive zone. He has made a number of really nice defensive zone plays though too. So, and neutral zone plays. So back checking, I think his play has increased exponentially from last season.
100%.
In the offensive zone though, man, he still frustrates me with passing up shots, you know, in good goal scoring zones on the ice too. So, but yeah, so I'm not gonna.
There's just some of the stuff I go back again to the last home game against Vegas. he had a ridiculous goal where he beat like 3 defenders and then roofed it on the goalie. And we saw him do that so much his first 2 seasons in the NHL. And we're just not seeing that puck control. If he can get that kind of puck control back and have that laser beam of a wrist shot, again, easily a 50-goal scorer in the NHL. He just needs to put it all together again. I know he's young. I hope he'll get back to that, but man, he's got all the tools to do it. Let's just see it.
The shots were 35-26 Calgary in this game. Benton made 32 out of 35 saves. Power play, Blues 0 for 1, Calgary 0 for 3. No power play goals in this game.
If before we get to the next game, I do have something I want to ask you.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, I wanted to say I thought Binnington had a very good game. And I think for the most part under Bannister, for whatever reason, the goalies have been great. Hofer had a little stinker against, I think it was Florida. I think Binnington had a rough one maybe in mid-December. But overall, I mean, especially going to the week after Christmas or the week of Christmas, I guess, they had a stretch there where it was like the goalies were unbelievable. And I'll tell you, I have the luxury of being able to watch other broadcasts whenever I want. And I did watch, actually just kind of out of necessity, which I can explain at a later date. But out of necessity, I kind of had to watch the Calgary and Vancouver game broadcast. I'll tell you, man, I've watched probably, I don't know how many games the Blues played, about 45. I've probably watched a good 15 or 16 on different broadcasts. And every single one of them that Binnington's played, they are very, very nice talking about Binnington. Like every one of them's like, the stats are not fair for this guy. He has been great for the St. Louis Blues this season. He's been unbelievable. Even last season, he got a bad rap. The defense was bad. And that says a lot to me. The guys that are, because the broadcasters do watch a lot of game tape. Because they want to be ready to talk about guys who are playing well, guys who are snake bitten, guys who are, putting in the effort, guys that maybe aren't, guys that, and they're wanting to be able to talk about that during the game. So they will watch the upcoming opponent's games when they can. And to hear these guys and not the idiots going off analytics, to hear them be very complimentary of Jordan Binnington makes me realize there are smart hockey analysts out there that are able to see it and be like, yeah, he'll have a stinker here and there. But for the most part, he's been kind of a savior for this team.
Every goalie has a stinker here and there. I mean, that's everybody. Justin Scott in the chat says that people still hate Parayko, which is hilarious. I mean, I haven't seen a ton of people. I mean, there are some. There's always gonna be some people, but is that a thing? Are
yes.
fans hateful on Parayko?
Yes. So I will tell you that today I saw an article, and I really hate to call you out, kid. I don't even know if he's a kid. He might be my age. I don't know. I did see an article pop up on the Hockey Writers today, and the title was "Trade Targets for Colton Parayko." And when I saw that, I said, this is a Toronto Maple Leafs writer that is just picking a Colton Parayko to, we're going to get him, I looked, it was the Blues writer. It was Ethan Carter, actually friend of the show, Ethan Carter. And I thought, Ethan, come on, man. Is this sorry, man. Is it clickbait? Is that what this is? There's no reason to trade. And this is coming from a guy who last year said, I just want his contract off the books. I said that. I will admit, man, I was fucking wrong. You trade Colton Parayko right now, fire Doug Armstrong 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
You don't move him right now.
I mean, it's funny how things work because last season his contract looked to be, oh, this is not going to be a good contract moving forward because he has lost it. But, this season he has completely turned it around, and which leads me to back the injured theory that we talked about in the show a lot last season. He is he's so bad compared to how he used to be. He's got to be hurt. He's got to be, something's wrong. Something's not right. and he's healthy, maybe, probably, healthier anyway, a lot healthier. So, yeah, I mean, giving up on him now when his contract now looks like a bargain, again.
It's an
So,
absolute bargain.
like
Like
it did early on.
that's not the atrocity on this team.
No.
Last year, the atrocity was pick a defenseman.
Why would you?
This year, it's sorry to say, even though he's played fairly well, Torrey Krug is not worth what he's making. And this season, Justin Falk has not been worth what he's making. So those are the two that I look at.
It was talked about on the radio by Jamie Rivers, and I completely agree today that some people were talking about what no trade clause contracts do you think the Blues would be able to be moved? And Jamie Rivers goes, I think any of them could be moved at the deadline, depending on where the Blues are on the standings and what they want to do. But so he goes, picture this. If Colorado comes knocking, not that the Blues would trade within the division, but let's hypothetically, if Colorado came knocking and said, hey, can you ask Krug if he'll waive his no trade clause to come here in a trade? And the Blues agreed on a trade. You don't think Krug's going to waive his no trade clause to go to Colorado or Krug or Falk? You think they would? Absolutely. I mean, to have a legit shot at a cup this season, I think they absolutely would.
I mean, for the fact that remember, those two are not cup winners. So, yeah,
Right.
that's one factor that they want to win a cup. Two, they're going to a good team, like a team that's not, I think Colorado's going to fall off a little bit the next couple of years because of contract issues, but they're still going to be competitive and good for years. And so, yeah, you want to go to a good hockey market, in Colorado. You think of like Colorado, Tampa Bay, even for different reasons, but there's plenty of good teams those guys would waive their no trade clauses to. And would they? I don't see any reason why a team like that would make a move like that. But if it did happen, hell yeah.
This is, and the Baked Beaver says they need a third line producer or a second goaltender, though. Yeah, but this is just hypothetically. If a legit cup contender comes to you and says, "Hey, we want you on our team," will you waive your no trade clause to come here? I mean, I think the odds are very high that would happen for any of the no trade clause folks on this roster, especially the defensemen. Yeah. So it's not, and that's totally, there's no inside info there. It's just, it seems like common sense to me. And coming from Rivers too, a former player, he's got that mentality. So he knows how players think sometimes. So, he's on board with that, and I completely agree. So,
yep. Well, hell of a win here against Calgary.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you before we get into the Vancouver game. What did you? And I'll try not to show my hand. Yeah, I'm not trying not to show my hand what I thought. What did you think of the decision to go with Binnington against Calgary, Hofer against Vancouver?
I thought it was. I thought they were treating Vancouver as a throwaway game. I thought they were going to go. I thought they're obviously going to go. One then the other. They're not going to start Binnington back to back. And so I was like, when I saw Binnington was starting against Calgary, I'm thinking, well, Hofer is going against Vancouver, and probably a throwaway game, But then again, Vancouver started their backup, so that was backup against backup. So I understood that.
Okay. Well, Coach Kurt Price leading the St. Louis Blues going into this weekend.
That's different.
What do you do?
Oh, I start Binnington in both games, but that's me, because especially after the game against Calgary, 35 shots, he played well, he has not had a heavy workload lately. I start him again. I don't know. But I like to work the goalies too. So I like to see the number one play more than they do. In the past, they played a whole lot more than they do now. They can handle it. What would you do?
I'll say that I actually would have done exactly what they did.
Okay.
I think, and I'm with Bill, because Bill always says they always have this like schedule, like they'll pull out a calendar at the beginning of the month and say, okay, Bennington here, Hofer here, and I kind of agree. I'm not saying they specifically do that, but I do think they have this in mind, and they say, well, we should do this, 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 and this, planning out ahead of time. I don't think you do that. I think you say Bennington's our starter. We'll start Bennington in the games he needs to go, and then when we feel like he needs a rest, we'll start Hofer. And I do think in this situation, you go in against Calgary and you say you need points against Calgary because they're a wild card team. They're battling you for a wild card spot.
Okay.
You need, because that's a 4-point swing. You take away 2 points from them and you gain 2 points if you can win. So you put your starter against the team that you need wins against. Then, again, I don't say, Bennington, you're starting Calgary, Hofer you're starting Vancouver. I say, let's see how Calgary goes. So in the Calgary game, I felt like Bennington got worked pretty well. 32 saves on 35 shots. I thought he had to make a lot of acrobatic saves. He looked really good in this game. Despite that, I think I say, you know what? You played really well, Benner. This is a situation where I say, all right, Joel, Benner had a real tough barrage of shots last night. You're going tonight against Vancouver. And we say, we know it's a big test for you, but you're an NHL goalie. You're going to have big tests. And I think this is a situation where you let your kid, and kind of like what you said about the Blues, a throwaway game. It's more like if we win, that's fucking cake.
Well, yeah,
Perfect.
right. And once I saw that it was backup against backup, I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, that changes the story for me completely. But again, I like to start the number one. I'd like to see the number one start more than they do anyway. So
I agree.
that's
But
just
I
me.
think in this situation, I was fine with the way it was handled. I think that
it worked out great.
yeah, I mean, clearly they got 2 wins, so it's hard to argue. But I'm just
Hofer
saying,
played well.
I like the way they handled this situation. I think it was done well. And again, you need those points against Calgary. You want to get the points against Vancouver, but guess what? If you miss 2 points against them, it's not going to kill you in the wild card race, except the fact that you just didn't win.
Keith Price asked, didn't Fuhrer play every game in 95-96? Could be wrong. He did not.
79 games?
He missed a few.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We looked it up. I think it's 78 or 79 games he played.
Yep. And wow, light, sound, geometry, bring in the heat with his prediction. And it's not even a question to him, right?
Woo!
The Blues have a number one center, defenseman, and a money goalie. Yotes are falling off a cliff in a dumpster fire, and Preds are nothing.
LA, a dumpster fire.
Oh, LA dumpster fire.
Yep. Preds are nothing.
Okay. We're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. We'll see. Those are some bold predictions.
Okay.
I think the Blues are in it until
they're not
the very end of the season. And if they get in, that's great.
The Predators won tonight, so they're 3 points up on the Blues. The Blues have 2 games in hand on the Predators. I'm not impressed with the Predators. I'm not impressed with the Coyotes. I think that last wild card spot is the Blues to lose. I think they can get in. If they continue to play like they've been playing lately, they're going to get in. That's me.
Or so the Germans would have you believe.
As so the Germans would have us believe.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Keith Price. That
awesome.
should be your only comment ever.
Yeah, right. And yeah, trees. Which it's so funny to me what people choose to make their social media name. Trees. Are you an arborist? Have we asked that question before?
Right.
Blues are.
No, I called him Mother Nature earlier, and he said, "No, Father Nature."
Okay. Yeah, because trees are men.
Mm-hmm.
Blues are 14 points behind the Stars. It's a wild card race. Yeah, I think everyone's on board with that analysis. I don't think there's any pipe dreams of us cracking the what are the standings right now? Let's see. Standings. Did I close them? Tell me I didn't close them. I think I did.
You didn't close them.
I did close them.
I've got them up.
But pull them back up.
So standings right now, the West
playoffs.
Dallas Stars 64 points are number 3, and the Blues are, let's see, they've had 48 games played. Blues are at 46 games played, have 50 points. So 14 points behind the third seed of the Central.
We're not gonna, barring some kind of crazy.
Yeah, there would have
collapse.
to be a major collapse and probably injuries involved on Dallas, and Colorado and Winnipeg are 65.
They're all right there, 65, 65, 64. So they're battling. It's not like they're set in stone where they're gonna like take it easy and let their foot off the gas. No, they're battling for position down to the wire probably. So
I gotta say, man, give me Dallas. Give me Dallas.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, but it's gonna be, well, yeah. Wouldn't it be? It'd be Vancouver though. If we finish second wild card.
Yeah, but I'm saying if we could find a way to get into play Dallas,
right? Oh, absolutely.
Give me.
With our history against Dallas in the playoffs, they want no part of St. Louis in the playoffs. Not a chance.
Yep. The Stars would either have to, well, the Avalanche or the Jets would have to fall drastically, and then the Blues would have to jump into those top 3 to probably play Dallas in the first round. But man, give me Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even close. I'd be worried against any team except Dallas.
Yep.
That we could possibly play.
For whatever reason, man, the Blues just have their number.
Yep. Although, the way Edmonton's playing, they're 12 points down on Vancouver, but Vancouver's 8-0-2. Imagine being 10-0-0 and only gaining 2 points on Vancouver over the last 10.
That's how bad their season started.
Well, it's how good Vancouver's playing right now too. They've only gained 2 points on Vancouver, and they've won 10 straight. Actually, they won more than that. What, 14 straight?
14
yeah.
right now. Yep.
Yeah. So over the last 10, they've only gained 2 points. That's bananas. Yep. You expect more than that, but so anyway,
that's bananas and blow.
And hey, that's your beer. Against Vancouver, the Blues did beat the best team in the NHL 4-3 in overtime. Justin Falk was out of this game because of a maintenance day.
Did you find that weird? That's what Bannister said. It's a maintenance day for Falk. That's what you say for practice, not for a game day.
Right. Which
that felt really weird.
It felt weird. And so let's whip out the conspiracy theorist hat, right? Where it's like, we want to save him some face and not healthy scratch him just from his poor play. Well, it's a maintenance day. He's got to rest up a bit.
I thought he played a little better against Calgary. So that's why I was, and maybe it was just a matter of, you're not playing well. Yeah, you had a good game against Calgary. Let's not put you out there against the best team in the league.
Yeah. And he could be nursing something still from his previous injury too. So the Blues have beaten Vancouver twice this month now, 2-1 on January 4th and 4-3 on the 24th. The first part of this game, the first 10, 12 minutes or so, Vancouver was all over St. Louis. They were flying. The Blues were like, bend but not break kind of a thing. They didn't allow a lot of shots either. The Blues didn't. But Vancouver, they kept in the perimeter mostly, and Vancouver missed some shots wide too, some good chances. But man, Vancouver just came in waves, and they were just the Blues would clear out the center or dump it, and ice it. They come back and they regain possession and have zone time again. It was a rough 12 minutes, and they said before the broadcast, Vancouver loves to come out fast and hard and score on you first, and the Blues will have to weather the storm. Which team? Do you remember this back in the day? Which team did the Blues always have to weather the storm when they went into their barn? Detroit. Which team was that? Chicago. I'm thinking Chicago. Detroit too. But Chicago is always like that. They're coming off the anthem. The crowd is bananas and crazy and screaming the first 10 minutes of the game. And the Blues would always have to survive the first 10 minutes of the game in Chicago. And then once the fans settled in and the team settled in, they'd be all right. But this game, Vancouver all over the Blues. And then the Blues score first, which was reminding me a little bit about Boston in Game 7. how Boston was all over the Blues.
So I'll say, and by the way, it looks like the Big Beaver agrees with me. Back in the day, Detroit. Yeah, it wasn't so much the anthem, but it was just, Detroit was nuts. They'd throw the octopus on the ice and people would go nuts. And then it was like game time. And it's like, motherfucker, these assholes. So I'm with you, Big Beaver. But no, I agree with you on Chicago too. Clearly, that's a big part of Chicago is.
I mean, in the 80s,
before the game even starts.
Well, that building was that and the arena were the two loudest buildings in the NHL. Back
clearly.
In the 80s. So,
but anyway, so no, so in this game, so I my first hockey game back playing since September. So I didn't want to miss this game, especially after the big Calgary win. I'm like, but man, I'm not gonna fucking miss my first game back in 4 months. So I only was able to. So I did, typically. Does any team ever try to not score first? There was a period there where I think when the Blues were not a playoff team, their record was, I think, better when they didn't score first.
That's weird.
And it was like, I remember us saying, I don't know if it was me and you at this show. It might have even actually predated this show, which is hard to believe, that we'd be like, man, maybe the Blues just need to pull the goalie to start the game. Go ahead, score a goal, guys. But no, so I did miss the start of this game. I was back for pretty much the start of the third period. And so I caught the third and I watched the rest of the game earlier today on replay. But only having the context of the 3-1 lead the Blues had and the way the Canucks were playing to open the third, I was sure that the Blues were basically lucky to have that lead. And I was like, man, they must have just potted a couple easy ones on DeSmith. And it wasn't until I watched the rest of the game that I realized that really wasn't the case. But
yeah,
like you were saying, early in this game, so I started the game earlier today, and the first 10 minutes, it was all Vancouver. I'm like, holy shit.
With not many shots, though.
Was true.
With not many shots. They had 4 shots. That was it.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
They were cycling in the zone. They were the Blues could only dump it in when they had the chance. And it was like, how did they score 3 goals? But then
every time the Blues got the puck, it was
a lot better.
It was time for a line change. Because they were in the zone for a minute and a half, right? So the Blues couldn't really pressure.
I've got it very, very quickly. My physical therapist is not a hockey person. I asked her what if she knew what it was that they played with, and she didn't know. She's like, a ball? No, it's not called a ball.
Wow.
But I thought it was really funny because she asked me today, she said, so how much she goes, so you played last night? And I was like, yeah. She's like, how much did you play? And I was like, well, it's 15-minute periods. And it's stop clock. So 45 minutes. And I played about half the game. And she just looks at me and she goes, that's it? And I go, that's it? She goes, yeah.
Baseball.
She goes, you couldn't play the whole game? And I go, no one has ever played the whole game. And she goes, really? Isn't it like soccer where you're just out there the whole time? And I'm like, you have really never watched a hockey game, have
There's
you?
There's a lot of walking in soccer.
That's what I told her. I was like, in hockey, you're out there and you're moving the whole time. So you got to go 45 seconds to a minute and then you try to get off. But I'm like, in soccer, it's the play's down there. I'm just going to stand here and wait till the ball's down here. It's a lot different. It was really funny because even another physical therapist walked over and she goes, you think hockey players play the whole game? They'd probably lose 30 pounds every night. So, I thought that was funny. So, talking about long shifts and, playing. And I haven't told her, I go, NHL games are 60 minutes. The highest minute getter right now is probably at about 25, 26 minutes a game. And she's like, man, it doesn't seem like a lot. And I'm like, trust me, when you're watching the length of a game, you notice when the top defenseman is out there and you feel like they're out there the whole game, even though they're clearly not.
The Blues finally started to generate some offensive zone time after 10, 12 minutes in the first period. And Neighbors scores at 13-14 on a nice give and go with Thomas on a one-timer from the slot after a pass from behind the end red line. By the way, the NHL called this a wrist shot goal by Neighbors.
A wrist shot?
On the Blues site, this goal is listed as a wrist shot.
Come on, fact checkers. Let's get those people going.
But hey, yeah, advanced stats are infallible, right?
Right.
You see stuff like this all the time. Like, what?
Yep.
That's not
well,
right.
it's again, I still go back to the Blues' first game of the season when apparently Jordan Binnington faced 0 high danger chances, and he had a fucking unbelievable game.
Buchnevich's goal, the power play goal from Neighbors, across the top of the slot crease, that was also a wrist shot goal, which was more of a tap in. It's weird. It's weird.
God, man, are you paying attention to lights out geometry in the chat right now?
No.
Man, he doubles down a couple minutes ago talking about playoffs. We are in. Blues are going to playoffs. Then he just said, we are getting playoff hockey in 2024. He is all over letting people know what he thinks.
Well, he's obviously very excited about the last few games, right? Especially the last 2. So, rightfully
I'd
so.
say for me, the last month has been very exciting.
Sure, and they've played pretty well, and they're gonna you toss in every 3-4 games they get a loss and they whatever, it's not a great game, but if they can keep winning, and I hate to quote Jimmy Rivers again, but it's like if they keep winning 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, and just keep that cycle going, they're a playoff team. So.
Well, it's the old that comes from the old baseball adage, right? If you win 3 out of 4 series every time, like you have 4 series and you take 3 out of 4 games each time, you're going to be a playoff team. So it's the same thing here. It's you win 3 of 4, even sometimes you have a couple stretches where you're 2 and 4, you're going to be a playoff team. It's just a matter of time. I'll add in this game. I thought. Pius Suter, clearly had the hat trick in this game. I saw somebody say, like, I guess the Blues are just handing out hat tricks nowadays.
Yeah, right.
It does feel that way, but he played a great game. But man, I thought he was phenomenal.
He was
29
fantastic.
saves on 32 shots, played very well. And there was that monster save he made. I think it was in the third period, right before a commercial break, where he just shot in front right from the slot, and he just gloved it like it was nothing. Again, reminds me to a certain extent of Jordan Binnington, the swagger that kid has. Like, he'll just make a save and then just like skate to the corner. He'll like, oh, I glove that. I'm just going to skate to the corner and skate around my crease. And it's like, no like head nod to his teammates, nothing. He's just, oh, I got it. I'm good. And I love seeing a goalie with swagger like that.
Power play goal later in the first period on a beautiful down low pass across the top of the crease from Neighbors to Buchnevich, which we just talked about. With all the early pressure Vancouver had, this goal by Buchnevich, with just over 5 minutes remaining in the first period, ended up even this goal, even the shots up at 4 aside. So with all that pressure Vancouver had early in this period, with 5 minutes to go in the first period, they only had 4 shots. So
I hate to keep beating on this drum, but it just shows to go you how good this team, how much, I don't want to say good, how much better this team has been defensively. You think about Vancouver having that kind of pressure last season, they would have had 17 shots on goal. But the Blues were getting in passing lanes, or at least breaking up passes, like maybe not clearing the puck, maybe not getting possession, but like they're making it difficult for teams to do these cross the crease passes or across the zone passes that create these great scoring chances where the goalie's swimming in his net. They're just not allowing that anymore. Yeah, the other teams are still getting typically way more pressure than the Blues are getting, but man, they are just not, they're limiting the chances for them to score huge goals.
And Shen's goal that was taken away, that was in the second period, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cross check that was a penalty, and then so Shen's goal doesn't count because it happened right before. I guess it's a penalty. It's the guy cross checks the guy down. It's technically a penalty, not vicious, but whatever. It is what it is.
It is a ticky tack call because sometimes that's called, sometimes it's not. But by the definition of the law, I agree. I think
Well,
that is a penalty.
yeah, and I guess some people were complaining because it didn't affect anything really. It wasn't done to create space for a goal. I guess it was, but it didn't end up being that way. So I don't know, but whatever. It was a penalty. And I thought, man, if that goal accounted 3-0, I'm thinking with the way the Blues were playing so Vancouver comes out balls to the wall, and then the Blues just turn it around, and the Blues are playing very well, and they're just coming to Vancouver, and the Blues are scoring something Vancouver couldn't do in the first 10-12 minutes of the game. So, and then you thought they had 3, and you're like, wow, this game's over with the way the Blues are playing. But then they didn't get 3, and like, man, that 2-goal lead, you don't feel comfortable with it. And then the third period happens, and they score a minute into the third period, which I thought, well, first of all, yeah. So a minute into the third period, Suter scores a nice goal. Hofer scrambling, beats him 5-hole. It's one of those things. But then Toropchenko's goal, like 41 seconds after,
Huge.
Man, that was big. So huge. And then I'm like, third period, you regained your 2-goal lead, took all the momentum right back away from Vancouver. Massive goal. Huge goal. And then Suter's, it was a nice goal too. Out muscling the defenseman when he tried to stick lift him right on the puck. I mean, you can see on the replay he stick lifts him, but then Toropchenko has the strength to put it back down on the ice and then chip it over the goalie. So I'm like, wow, because it's hard to bring. If you've played hockey, it's easier to lift the stick than it is to push it down. If you're like to stick lift somebody, you have more leverage. But to come back down and push a stick down when he's trying to pull you up, man, that was impressive. I was impressed by that.
It was.
But then Vancouver comes back. They score 2 goals. They get a goal about 4 minutes later from Suter. I think people were kind of giving Hofer a hard time on this one. A little miscommunication at the side of the net. And I think somebody said Hofer is not as good at playing the puck as he thinks he is. And I said, no.
People say that about Binnington too.
I said Hofer is very good at playing the puck.
I think the
Blues, more you play the puck, I mean, you're gonna have flubs. Every player does.
I think the Blues have 2 of the top 5 puck moving goaltenders.
Oh, sure.
In the NHL.
He's one of the best in the NHL. Sure. Yeah. And I don't understand why. I mean, maybe that's old school thinking. Don't handle the puck as much. But no. You want him handling. Yeah, that's a huge.
Man, before Binnington, that was me. I always said, you know what? I want the goalie to stay in the fucking crease. Like, don't even risk it.
See, I liked it. I was back in Curtis Joseph days. I'm like, oh yeah, come out and handle it and do that little knee flick that he'd use his knee as a fulcrum and just flick it.
Oh, my next door neighbor was he used to play goalie for me in the street. He didn't play anywhere else. But yeah, every time he wanted to play the puck, that's what he would do. He would just do his knee flick. And I'm like, oh, you're Curtis Joseph, man. I love it.
Yeah.
But I used to feel that way. But then Binnington came out and I realized how a good puck moving goaltender can help a defense with a breakout. And I'm like, damn, like, give me more of this. And the fact we have 2 of them now, because I think that was always a little bit of an issue in like the Elliott and Allen days. Cause like Elliott never left his net. Allen would leave the net, but he wasn't great handling the puck. And it was like, whenever, when they were doing the 1A, 1B, it was like the defense had to readjust every time there was a goalie change. Now it's like we play the same way because both our goalies are so good at handling the puck. You really see a difference.
Oh, I mean, teams that dump the puck in and try and wrap it around, and goalies that cut it off, they completely thwart their forecheck. I mean, you knock it down, you give it to your defenseman, and you've got zone exit. It's fantastic. So I think nowadays, technical parts of the game have been analyzed to death. I don't think teams would do it if it wasn't beneficial. If you had a goalie that could handle the puck, obviously, if you can't handle the puck, don't be doing that. But
yep.
And I guess maybe there's certain times of the game too where crunch time, overtime in the playoffs, on 50-50 pucks that are kind of high on the glass, wrapping around, stay in the net.
There
and
are
shoot back in front.
There are a few times that Binnington's left the net that I'm just like, just let your guy get it. Let Falk get that one. Not right now, buddy.
When Hofer left the net earlier this season, it went off the glass, goofy, and in the net. So,
I mean, but
can you imagine that happening in
overtime
in the playoffs?
Oh God! Fans would have fucking killed him. They would have just destroyed him on social media.
And when it's absolutely not his fault, that's a fluke. You can't.
Absolutely.
I think we talked about this at the time. You cannot base your play to account for flukes.
No,
not really.
No, if you did, you wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't
never leave
goalies
the net,
would never leave the net.
Yeah.
Centers would never leave the faceoff circle.
Yeah.
You can't account for that kind of thing.
Yeah. So and then Suter scores to tie the game with 52 seconds remaining in this game off of a shot from the near boards. Shot hits the post and then comes in front. Hofer is down. And Leddy swipes at it's a bouncing puck has come off the post. Leddy swipes at it, misses because it's bouncing, and then Suter happens to get it when it's bouncing, and it just kind of chips it over, flutters over Hofer, and in.
I'm not just gonna. And listen, I don't want to say that I think the Blues are at major fault. They shouldn't have let this happen. It was a good read by the Canucks. And by the way, I also thought it was funny how Suter scores the hat trick, but I guess because it was such a scramble, nobody realized that he scored a hat trick. So it wasn't until they announced the goal that all of a sudden the fans started throwing their hats on the ice. And I don't know, did you see at the very end when Krug had the puck with 3 seconds left on the clock and he's behind the net with it?
Yeah.
He there's a hat behind the net and you see him just take his stick and flip it toward the net and then carry the puck.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to say that I'm mad about that goal. It was a good goal. Vancouver, they did all the things right. The only thing I'll say as a defenseman in a situation like that, where it's late in the game, they got the goalie pulled, you're up by 1. Yes, your thoughts are, if I can get this puck, I'm going to just fucking fire it out of the zone. But to me, your first thought is, if the puck is anywhere near the net, I am tying up any stick that's near me. And I feel and it's not just Leddy. I feel like Parayko was right there. I want to say
there
Robert
were 3
Thomas
Blues players there.
Was right there. Yeah,
Leddy was in front, and there was one Blue on each end of the crease.
Parayko was on the other end of the crease, and then there was a forward. I want to say it was Thomas. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But
if Thomas was out
I feel
there,
why
didn't he take the face off? Because Hayes took the face off, right? And he lost.
Maybe it wasn't Thomas then. It might have been Hayes, actually. I think it was the center, whoever it was. But either way, I feel like the first thought is the puck is fluttering. I'm going to just tie up any sticks that I see near me, so that way nobody's just going to fucking poke this past the goalie. And I know it's quick second thinking. It's reactionary, what's going to happen. But to me, I didn't see any of the Blues trying to tie up sticks. I'm like, you can't let anybody in front of that net get a poke at that puck. I know Leddy's trying to shoot the puck out. Somebody has got to pick up that there were 2 Canuck sticks right there. You got to tie those up and then either try to kick it to the corner or hope your goalie jumps out and jumps on it, whatever. To me, it's not, your first thought isn't get the puck out. It's tie up sticks. That way they can't shoot it.
Well, I mean, I think in Leddy's defense, he's facing Hofer and Suter's to his back, and the puck is bounding off the post, coming right at him, and he swipes at it just to try and get it out of the way. I think it'd be weird for him to ignore the puck and turn around and try and tie up Suter at that point. But I know what you're saying. I'm not
just saying Leddy. I'm saying anyone. You see a Vancouver stick there that's pointed toward the net, you fucking tie that stick up first. That's your first thought.
No, I agree.
Patrick Yoder, who I know we interact with a lot on Twitter. I don't know if we interact with a whole lot on the live shows. So, Patrick, thanks for joining us. He says, ever since missing the playoffs in 2018 against Colorado, I've dreaded the Blues facing an extra attacker. Their track record is horrible in that category, I think. There's got to be stats on that somewhere you could look up, right? Like goals in the last minute, or giving up tying goals in the last minute, or goals with an extra attacker against. There's got to be somewhere we can find a stat on that, because I'm interested in that as well.
You know what? I'm looking at the replay here, and this was actually very well positioned for Vancouver on that game tying goal, because Vancouver had a player at each post, and then Suter was at the top of the crease in the low slot. So I'm looking at where the defenders are. Parayko, like the shot hits the post. I think Parayko's initial reaction is to go to, I think, is that Pettersson at the near post? And then, because Leddy is pretty much right on Suter when he's swiping and missing. Yeah, that's tough. It's a bang play.
It is, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I wasn't even mad at the Blues. It's just that's the one thing I took away from it. Is I'm like, to me, you're tying up sticks, not trying to swat at a puck. And like I said, for me, I don't know if it was the center or who it was, but there was somebody there that it was like they were trying to react to the way the puck was going to bounce, as opposed to trying to play defense.
Well, that was Leddy who swung and missed, and Shen was in the high slot, but he wasn't even close to him. He couldn't get there. Yeah. Looking at this, and this, because Leddy's looking right at the puck. Obviously, he's going to try and sweep it away, and it's bouncing. Yeah, I don't know. I can't fault anybody on that goal, personally. So overtime. This was Shen and the Blues kind of got even for that horrendous missed overtime trip against Boston. That cost them the game when Shen cross checks down Pettersson in this game at the edge of the crease, and got some space because of that. Backs up, trade more space, gets a pass from Leddy from behind the net, and scores far post. So it looked like Pettersson went down pretty easy on this. I think you have some comments on Leddy coming to the zone, but as far as this goal goes, Pettersson went down like you sneeze and he went down. He went down easy. And it's funny how when players dive, when they hit the ice, it's almost like they act differently when they dive when they actually hit the ice. Like their arms spread out more. They're trying to exaggerate and embellish. Oh my gosh, I'm helpless. I'm on the ice because they fell. When really in that situation, it's overtime. The Blues have the puck. If you get knocked down, you're getting your ass right back up, right? And he didn't do that. He went down and flattened out and then slowly got back up. And so whatever, fuck him.
Well, I will say the Blues did, for those of you who want to complain about the call, the cross-checking call that negated the original Shen goal that got pulled away. There was a play in the third period, late in the third period, where Oscar Sundqvist laid a pretty good cross-check on Quinn Hughes that some were thinking that he might have been injured.
Yeah.
Because he went straight to the bench, and you could see him just like flexing his arms and like trying to lift his back up, and it was like, oh boy, and the Blues got away with one there. So let's keep that in mind.
And the shoulder, he was like flexing and trying to work it out on the bench. That was the shoulder that the stick hit. It wasn't the shoulder that went in the boards. They were saying on the broadcast that shoulder went in the boards. No. That was his right shoulder went to the boards. He was like trying to work out his left shoulder on the bench.
Yep.
That's the shoulder that he was cross-checked on, his arm. So, I agree with you.
But
I agree with you. He got away with that one there. Sure.
Definitely got away with that. And it was kind of sneaky, honestly, how Sundqvist did it. Like, it wasn't like a full-on, like,
right.
It was like he came up behind him, and then he just kind of like gave him this nudge in the small of the back that's hard for a ref to see if they're not in the right position. So, I guess credit Sundqvist there, but the Blues definitely got away with one. But I'll say on this overtime goal, my reaction was probably hilarious to anybody who would have heard me. So again, like
yes,
yes, exactly. It was we were there was kind of back and forth. Blues had some chances, and then the Vancouver had a chance, and The Blues end up getting it down. Nick Leddy starts skating it down on a 2-on-1 with Schenn. And instead of making a play to the net on the 2-on-1, he literally just peels off and goes into the corner. And I know at that point I was already standing, like you probably were too, Kurt. I was already standing, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you just skate the fucking because they scored? And I was like, because I wanted to be so mad at Leddy, but it was like, you kind of like, take a 300-foot view out, and you're like, that was the right play because it's 3-on-3, 5-on-5. What the fuck are you doing? 3-on-3, you're finding that open space and then creating an opportunity for your other players to get open. That's exactly what happened. He skates to the corner, then goes behind the net. Schenn is able to pull away from his defender, pass it to Schenn, boom, back of the net, game over. And it was like, it makes you so pissed sometimes with that because you want to yell at Nick Leddy, like at least I did, because I'm like, I'm a hockey guy. I get it. But I know in a situation, if I were Nick Leddy in that situation, I would have forced a pass. And then who knows, maybe he gets picked off and all of a sudden it's a 2-on-1 the other way.
At the blue line, it was a 2-on-1, but that was taken away later. Schenn was covered. But my issue with it was Leddy going behind the net. Because if that pass is turned over and whoop, Vancouver goes the other way, our only defenseman on the ice is stuck behind the net.
Yep.
So, and there's Saad and Schenn out there otherwise.
Yep.
So
Saad is not known. I mean, Saad's okay in the penalty kill, but like as a defenseman,
no. I saw Leddy went deep. Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't think you want your defenseman going deep when you're the only guy out there who plays defense behind the opposing goal. But it all worked out, kind of like Steen's overtime winner against LA when he went behind the opponent's net and shorthanded in overtime and stole it from Quick and scored. Yep. Which was like not what he was supposed to do at all.
No.
Like surprised the hell out of Quick too. So anyway,
I think Quick was like, "What the hell's he doing here?"
I know. That series could have been so much better. That goal would be so much better if we had won that series.
Well, it's the Wickenheiser goal.
I know.
So many in Blues history.
That was such an amazing goal that I want to love so much more than. But I always think, we lost that series. So.
But anyway, I mean, this was an awesome game. I unfortunately had to watch it in bits and pieces, and watch the end of the game first, then the beginning of the game. But I mean, these two games on the Western Canada road swing, holy shit! I mean, if you would have told me the Blues come out of those two games with 4 points and not giving Calgary any, unbelievable. Like that's the best case scenario.
Yeah,
and they pulled it out.
Fighting for playoff position with Calgary. Yeah,
I saw somebody say somebody said something about like it sucks we had to give a point to Calgary or to Vancouver when we had a 2-goal lead, and I'm like, and somebody even responded right away, and I think it was might have been Kyle Foxton, who has a great Twitter. I want to say he was the one that was like, it doesn't matter that we gave a point to Vancouver. We are not going to have to face them in a wild card situation.
Now,
and I'm
if we finish last in the wild card, we'd finish.
Okay, no. Sorry, they're not going to be battling Vancouver for a wild card spot.
Right. I guess
so. It doesn't matter.
I guess if the Blues' most likely playoff position is a wild card spot, and if Vancouver does finish first overall by 1 point, and we play them in the first round, I guess maybe that point comes into play. But yes, generally, that's not. Who cares? Get the 2. Be happy with the 2. Vancouver, different division, might not come into play. 1 point for them. It's not going to probably matter.
I want to answer Katrina Harlan, who is that a new live listener?
Yeah.
She says, is the other member doing okay? I think his name was Bill, but I know he was doing so much for female sports.
I think she's thinking of you for female sports.
Yes, I am the female sports guy.
Yeah,
that is me.
And Bill is fine. He's just kind of burned out on. He had a lot going on today, and he's exhausted. So he's taking a night off. So and
I know he said something about it. I think he's battling a cold or something as well. So we're like, dude, We're good.
Yeah.
We can handle this.
That's fine. We've all had our not feeling up to it for sickness or exhausted or busy or whatever.
Beauty of having 3 hosts, right?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle of hosts where you lose whatever.
You lose one, and the other 2 just get more
talkative.
talkative.
Yeah, if you lose one, then you got a straight point. Then you got a straight line, and the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And I don't know.
That sounds smart. Let's go with that.
Shots in this game, 32-18 for Vancouver. Seems like this was kind of weird to me because I thought Vancouver's best play in this game came in the first period when they didn't score any goals and they only had 4 shots during that time in the first period when they played really, really well. Now, third period they came on hard and the Blues were holding on, right? So they played really well in the third period too. And the Blues were just trying to, nurse a 3-1 lead. So they weren't really looking for offense. But outshot the Blues 24-10 in the last 2 periods. So, I mean, the shots on goal, more times than not, I guess if that's a concern for you, and it probably should be, that's an issue. You want to get more pucks on net, and you don't want to give up 35, 38, 40 shots.
They're kind of doing the Berube philosophy a little bit from 2 seasons ago. Quality over quantity with shots too.
Yeah,
how many times do we see them pass up a great shooting opportunity to make the extra pass?
And how many times do you see the other team just shoot whenever they get a good chance? I mean, I see other teams doing what we should be doing. They'll do a little cutback move, and the defenseman they get free and they got a shot, but they pass into traffic, and it goes, and there's nothing comes of it. But other teams will get the puck on net. So I'm not gonna complain about this Western trip at all. I mean, they came out smelling like a rose, but it'd be really nice to get some more shots on net, and
that's kind of been
here and there.
A trend all season that they're getting outshot pretty heavily, and that's again why you have to credit the Blues goaltending and how good they played. Katrina Harlan says, talking about Bill again, he always seems so entertaining and energetic. Are we talking about the same guy? Hope he's feeling okay. Again, I'm sure he's fine. But I do want to comment on Ken Morris's comment here. I miss Bill Day's Blues save of the week. That's an excellent idea.
That really is.
Kurt,
save of the week.
Let's talk to Bill about this, having maybe a breakdown of what he thought was the best Blues save of the week, and even maybe including a video component. I think that'd be awesome.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's discuss that.
I love, because that's the one aspect of hockey that I don't want to say I'm not smart in. I know I still am over the average hockey viewer or player, but I do love learning from Bill about goaltending. So that would be really fun to have.
Goaltending is the most fascinating position to me too.
It is.
There's so the science that goes into that, and the strategy for goaltending and how it's changed over the years too is just, I mean, if you were around back in the 80s and or even before that, when goaltending changes from decade to decade, it's crazy. I mean, big time. About how stand up versus butterfly versus reverse V and all kinds of R.I.P. Bill. Is that Bill?
Yeah, it is Bill.
Or is she hanging out outside Bill's house? Do I have to call the police?
Maybe. Maybe it's his neighbor.
Okay, so the Blues were 1 for 3 in the power play in this game. Vancouver also 1 for 3. The Blues are now, before tonight,
they're 3 points behind.
They're 3 points
Nashville.
behind Nashville now. After this game, they were 1 point. Now it's 3 because Nashville did beat Minnesota tonight 3-2. The Blues have 2 games in hand, though, so all is well. Got to win those games, though. Will the Blues be buyers or sellers at the deadline? And your answer, Jeff, is
yes.
Yes. Okay, next topic.
For those of you who are on Twitter may have seen, that was a question from our friend Lance. I'm glad he fixed it. He noticed his mistake, but I couldn't help but give him trouble. He literally asked,
long time to notice that mistake.
Will the Blues? Yeah, it did take him a little while, but he said, will the Blues be buyers or sellers at the deadline? And the 2 answers you could choose from for the poll were yes and no. So
It's a
I had to give
ridiculous
him
question.
trouble.
It's a legit question. What are you talking about? No, I mean the response is no. It's a legit question. It was asked on the radio. I understand, but your answers don't make any sense. Oh, it's a question that comes up multiple times. The last portion of the season, every season, and it's a good topic.
And it's for every team.
Sure.
That's the
Yeah.
question with every single team. And
Well,
I mean, right now,
Chicago is sellers, but yeah,
right,
certain teams
yeah,
are
and
sellers.
San Jose
San
is a
Jose,
seller.
yeah.
Colorado's a buyer. Yeah, I mean, clearly, but some of these bubble teams, especially, it's always the question. And for me, I think it's a stand pat team.
Ottawa,
I
they're going
think
to trade Tarasenko, right? Surely,
I think
yes.
they're more on the selling side, just for the simple fact of I don't think they're going to re-sign Kapanen. So I can see them trying to at least get a draft pick or something for him. Maybe a
I think it
Sammy
depends where they
Blais.
are. I think it depends where they are in the
Yeah,
standings. If
we'll see.
they're like a couple points up on the last wild card, I don't see them being buyers at all. But I think unless it's a minor depth move, I don't see them moving anybody unless they can get something good for them. I don't see them moving. I don't think they would risk hurting the team a little bit for playoffs just for a third or fourth round draft pick.
I agree. But I mean, it also depends, I think, too, how they do without him in the lineup. They're playing pretty well right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he becomes expendable.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Next up for the Blues, Friday at Seattle, 9 p.m. Sunday versus Los Angeles at 1 p.m. I hate those 1 p.m. Sunday games.
Yeah, those are rough for me, too.
Tuesday versus Columbus, 7 p.m. So with Seattle, LA, and Columbus, Blues could have a nice little streak here. Katrina Harlan again. Can I please have a link to hop in and get to the bottom of what you've done with Bill?
Why am I the one being accused?
That's funny.
Hey, speaking of accusations.
And speaking of harassment, yeah.
It's no laughing matter, but let's get
it's
to
not.
it.
Rapid fire tidbits from the NHL. Wow, we got a doozy. Which we talked about this a number of times because it cropped up big time in the news last year. But 5 members of Canada's 2018 World Junior Championship team told to surrender to London police. So over the past couple of days, 2 players, Carter Hart of the Flyers and Dylan Dubé of the Flames, had taken indefinite leaves of absence from their teams. Alex Formenton left his Swiss team to return to Canada, according to the team's website. Michael McLeod and Cal Foote, who is Adam Foote's son, who both played in New Jersey's last game on Monday, missed practice this morning, and the Devils have released a statement that they are taking leaves of absence from the team as well and declined to comment any further at this time. All of this was seemingly a prelude to the news this morning from the Globe and Mail that 5 players have been asked to surrender to London, Ontario police in connection with the investigation into the alleged incident in June of 2018 and will be charged with sexual assault. The 5 players have been given a deadline to report to the police, which the deadline has not been made public, but usually it's a week or 2. But count them up: Hart, Dubé, Formenton, McLeod, Foote. That's 5 guys. And
then after that, no more today have asked for a leave of absence.
Right.
So it's pretty clear.
Common sense, you put 1 and 1 together. It seems like those 5 guys are the ones that are being accused.
Yeah, let's say alleged to cover our bases here.
Yeah, but I mean, right. Did I not say allegedly? If I didn't, I'm sorry.
We might have, but I'm just again saying it just in case.
Yeah. So this whole thing extends back to April 2022, when a woman filed a lawsuit against Hockey Canada claiming she had been assaulted after a Hockey Canada event in London in June of 2018. Hockey Canada settled the lawsuit, but it came to light that not only had Hockey Canada settled other lawsuits concerning sexual assault from players on their teams, but that they had used members' fees to form a slush fund to settle the claims of sexual assault in particular. We talked about this last year.
Criminal.
Bananas.
criminal.
Bananas.
Anyone who knew about that and didn't report it should be behind bars.
So many people resigned over this. I mean, this is interesting, and I think from what I've read, after someone is charged with sexual assault, it's not uncommon for it to take years, like 2 to 3 years, before it ever goes to court for some reason. So that's according to some lawyers that were consulted for an article I read on this subject. So I, apparently, buckle up. You're in for the long haul with this. Apparently, with these accusations, but Carter Hart, probably the most notable player, I would say, of this.
Especially
these
since
five.
he's kind of had a turnaround season too.
Right. And someone said that I read this online that in the social media. So take it for what it's worth. That the Flyers tried to trade Carter Hart last year because they knew this was coming.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that that was, and again, this is speculation, but I heard from multiple sources that he was one of the players possibly involved with Philadelphia trying to trade Kevin Hayes and him to St. Louis, and they were trying to get Binnington back, and they were like pitching it as a change of scenery type thing, and it's like, no, I'm glad Armstrong didn't pull the trigger on that.
How much of a
You have to
douchebag
wonder
GM?
because Robert Thomas was on that team. You have to wonder
Yeah.
if maybe Armstrong went to Thomas, even if maybe he didn't even consider it. Like, I don't want to trade Binnington, but if he did, maybe he went to Thomas and said, "Okay,
Is there anything I have to know
know
about?
I know
other
you won't
players?"
tell me specifically, but if I were to acquire Carter Hart, would that be a bad decision?" Because you have to think Robert Thomas knows at least possibly who those people were, because he was on that team.
Yeah, right. I mean, if players talk, players know. I mean, what goes on your own team.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is crazy. And the victim is ready to testify in court, so there's no issue with that. And a press conference is supposed to be held on February 5th with more details. And February 5th is about 2 weeks from when they were asked to turn themselves in, basically. And that's the timeline they usually give, 1 to 2 weeks for people to turn themselves in for this kind of for who are no longer the reason why they don't go out and arrest them, like drag them to jail, is because they don't feel that they are a threat to the public right now. So they're giving them an opportunity, which is usually a week or two, to turn themselves in. So, and that timeline pans out to be about February 5th for the press conference. So it all kind of falls in line with the players that asked for leave of absence and this timeline with the February 5th press conference. So February 5th will be very interesting.
Yeah, so Ken Morris, he says the Hockey Canada payoff money came from kids' registration fees for minor hockey. Disgusting. And I'll say, like, as a guy who plays ice hockey, you for certain leagues that you have to play in here, you do have to pay a fee I think it's every year, maybe every 3 years, to USA Hockey, because they are the ones that kind of provide officials and scorekeepers in various leagues across US. So I imagine it's the same in Canada. So to see some of that money go to something like this is absolutely disgusting. So I'm glad I think from what I've heard, most of those people are now outside of of Hockey Canada. But yeah, we've talked about this case many times. I'll just say, I hope justice is served if these are the 5 men who were involved. I'm glad it's finally coming to light. And I will also say thank you to Rick Westhead of Sports. What is he? Sports Illustrated? No, he's
I thought it was TSN. I think
TSN.
it's TSN.
You're right.
Yeah.
TSN. He's been all over this and not getting distracted from it.
TSN or Hockey News? Is TSN?
I think he's TSN.
It's TSN. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I want to commend him. He's been phenomenal in covering this story. And I'll say, the only thing I'll say about this too, for those that maybe were following live when this came out, Was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
That
That the London police had
was
asked.
yesterday, wasn't it?
Okay. So the NHL, very, very weird how within minutes of this
Yeah.
being reported,
Wow.
all of a sudden there's a buyer interested in Salt Lake City who wants to bring an expansion franchise there. Let's make sure we leak that to the media.
That's not even new
And
news. That came
no,
out. That was rumored a while back.
well, it was an official letter, I guess, that he had
Right.
sent.
Right. But it was
And it's like, oh, I mean, I get wanting to protect your product, but that's sleazy as fuck. And I'm glad that there was many, including Frank Saravalli, who's really not truly associated with the NHL, but he's very high up in terms of press. He was one of the ones that called him out on it and said basically, no, pay attention to what's going on in Hockey Canada. Just fucking the NHL. Just if it wasn't for them being the best sport in the world, I would not pay attention to this league because they are so goddamn sleazy and worried about their own fucking money to cover something like this up, to at least help cover this kind of shit up. Don't tell me that wasn't intentional.
It's a shame that what happened to them in the World Junior Championships this year, isn't it? What a shame.
Yeah, such a shame.
There's a headline here for an article that reads, Hockey Canada sexual assault scandal, a real shock to anyone who has never met a junior hockey player.
Yeah. It's
apparently a
I will tell
big
you, I don't I will not name names here, but when I was playing roller hockey back, I was probably 2005, 2006. We had a gentleman come down and I worked with him. He asked, "Hey, I'm looking for a team, roller or ice. I don't care." And we're like, "Yeah, join us." And he was phenomenal. And I found out about halfway through the season that he had just moved down from Canada. And he was like he had basically has like a elite prospects page. Like he was playing on Brampton or something, and he was phenomenal. And then all of a sudden, when we found that out, we started asking him, "Oh, tell us about playing up there. What was it like?" The horror stories we heard. I'm like, that's not what we were asking. Like, we don't want to know about your sescapades. Awful. Just an awful, and it's awful that it's part of hockey culture, but it just is.
Well, watch Youngblood.
Yes, true.
I mean, it's in there.
Yep.
I don't even want to talk about this stuff. But okay, has anybody? I'll just say this. This was news to me today when I heard this, and
This was news to me 5 minutes before we started the show.
Gobsmacked. I heard about this earlier today. This was shared. My cousin shared this. Well, he didn't share this with me. He told me about it. He heard it, and I was like, what? Looked it up. I'm like, oh my God. So Mario Lemieux was in a hotel room when then Minnesota North Star forward Dan Quinn, this is a season after he was with the Blues, raped a 19-year-old woman. And this was back in 1992. And I'm not going to go through and read all the details, but because it's shocking.
I would say I don't know if I even want to link the story. You could probably look this up though, right? Just search Mario Lemieux, Dan Quinn.
Yeah,
it'll come up.
Rape, but it and Lemieux doesn't come off good in this story either. Lemieux not tries to help cover it up, but I mean he allows this to happen. Right, knows it's happening and allows it to happen, and actually kind of, stops her friend from stopping it. So, I mean, and Quinn was arrested after this happened. After a short investigation, he was not charged. The North Stars released him for violating his contract as it contained a morality clause, and apparently they used a curfew violation to get out of his contract after this. And then he went on to play 5 more years in the NHL for Ottawa, LA, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I mean, look it up.
First of all, fuck Mr. Dan Quinn for many reasons outside of this story.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Horrible hockey player. Suck it. You're terrible.
Well, here he was
Uh,
bad.
Yes. And 2, I 2, this is grotesque. And the sad thing is, and I'm sure it's not just hockey, it's all over. It's everywhere. These kind of stories coming to light now because of, the kind of movements we've seen in the community. It's sickening to hear that this kind of stuff was just allowed and like brushed under the rug. Like, I have a friend who he's got a 3-year-old girl, and Kurt, I'm sure you can relate that he's like, man, the shit that I used to say when I was a kid, if I would have known I was going to grow up and have a daughter, and he's like, and now I hear all these terrible stories about like things that happened to women in the 60s, and it's like, dude, not even the 60s, fucking 20 years ago.
It is infuriating. The behavior, the entitlement that some that exists out there with some people. And Mario Lemieux is supposed to be this upstanding, classy, guy, NHL's Hall of one of the best ever. And he's sitting there, they picked up some women, they took it back to the hotel room, and he's sleeping with one woman in one bed, and Quinn's raping another girl in another bed when against her, she doesn't want to be there. And Lemieux doesn't let her friend, stop it. And oh God, the details make you sick, and it's just sickening. And it makes you sick that Quinn got away with it because they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it was not consensual, even though she said it wasn't. So
I am looking at a Mario Lemieux autographed picture that I've had since I was a young man. And
you're gonna give it away on the next show.
After reading this story, I want to take it down. That's and it's one of those, don't meet your heroes things, right? It's like you hear stuff like this come out, and I idolized that man. Him and Chris Pronger. Pronger 1, Lemieux 2 growing up. That was who I loved and wanted to grow up and be. And it's like you hear shit like this, and it just rips your fucking heart out, because it's just, why did I idolize this motherfucker if these are true? Which from all indications, this isn't alleged. This is true.
I mean it. Yeah. I mean it. Based on what the witnesses are saying, the girls there. I mean, I guess it's proof is a hard thing with this, unfortunately. So I mean, it is allegedly, but still, I mean, the detail they go into, it's like, geez,
that's terrible.
Yep,
absolutely terrible.
So and she went to the hospital to be checked out afterwards and everything. So the officer said that he saw scratches on her, and I mean, there's evidence there. But whatever. I don't know.
Tough to end the show like this.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to next up for the Blues. We got Friday at Seattle. Man, if they can on this, what do you call? I guess you can't call Seattle part of the Western Canada road trip now, but it's pretty goddamn close.
Yeah,
they're what, like, it's like an hour from the Canadian border.
They're Washington.
They're part of that trip now. So if they could come away with this with even 5 of 6 points, whew, I'm ecstatic.
Sure. They got what is it? I lost it. Seattle, Los Angeles, and Columbus. So Seattle, 20, 18, and 9, 49 points. So they're battling the Blues. They're 1 point behind the Blues right now. So that's a big game. And then Los Angeles, which 53 points, 22, 14, and 9, only 3 points out of the Blues. They do have a game in hand, though. And Kraken, the Blues have a game in hand on the Kraken as well. So, and then Columbus, which, Columbus did hand it to the Blues earlier this season. So the Blues 0-1, and that's a game the Blues should win. So for sure.
Yep. Oh,
so
if they come away, let's just say these next 3 games, Seattle, Los Angeles, Columbus,
2 out of 3.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. I'm happy.
I'll be happy 2 out of 3. But man, you'd love to win all 3 because, I mean, based on the way teams are playing, they're and the way the Blues could beat them all. They are capable of beating all 3 teams. So it'd be nice if they could get 3 wins, but I'd be happy with 2. Like we talked earlier on the show, if you win every 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, the rest of the way, you're a playoff team.
Yep, agree.
Ready to shut her down, Earl?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add for Katrina Harlan, who says she's from Wentzville. She seems very concerned about Bill. He is fine. You do not need to worry about Bill. Where was this worry for me last week?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's funny.
Yeah, I guess Patrick Yoder's right. He's calling this the Northwest road trip now. Yeah, that's probably more correct. But it's just, we're so used to calling it the Western Canada trip.
Well, I mean, if you're going to call Calgary part of the Western trip, Seattle has to be too. I mean, it's all west. You go north too, it's still west.
He's right though. Northwest road trip. I think that works.
Let's not get too picky though.
Okay, agree.
Splitting hairs. All right. Let's Go Blues Radio has been brought to you in part by Rockin' That Idea Life. You can contact my copy is all messed up here. You can contact Dustin by emailing him and get 10% off at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Realtor Mike Burgoyne. Give Mike a call today at 314-753-4060 for all of your home buying and selling needs. That's 314-753-4060. That will wrap up episode 16 of season 13 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, who we're all very concerned about. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Channeling my Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Save Bill. Let's go Blues. And thank you, everybody. Great show. Great show.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
You thought I was going to say, son of a bitch, didn't you?